All right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Greenly Review. Today we'll be talking everything Godzilla vs. Kong, everything you want to know, everything you need to know, and everything you don't know. Today I am joined with BigBoiBouie! Bowie,
What's up, guys?
thank you for joining, my guy. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you doing, man?
You know what? Besides the fact that I was banned on TikTok Live, and I broke a margarita thing earlier today, and spilled a drink, I'd say I'm doing A-okay.
Yo, was it milk?
No, it was tea, but luckily the margarita thing was empty, so...
Oh, that's good.
But the glass went everywhere, so it wasn't nice.
Yeah,
Right.
broken glass isn't the absolute best thing to deal with on a daily basis, you know?
Nope, like every day, just breaking things, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, it was gonna happen.
It's a chronic disorder. Become an epidemic.
Become an epidemic, just like coronavirus. Like, oh, well, it's gonna happen every day, so it is what it is. All right,
Basically.
Bowie, tell me. Overall, based on what you saw in the movie, in the broadest way possible, without spoiling anything, because there's probably some people in this stream who haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
What did you like the most, and what did you not like the most?
Without spoiling the movie. Okay. Kong's character development
Mhm.
was amazing in this movie. Like, absolutely. I love the character of Gia, and like just overall the interactions between Gia and Kong. It was amazing.
Right.
I think everyone knows about the Hollow Earth by now because of
Oh, right.
trailers and whatnot.
Mhm.
The Hollow Earth was done also super cool. Like, I thought it was a really cool gimmick that they added to the movie, and it really reminds me of older Toho Godzilla movies, how they kind of went above and beyond rather than keeping it like super realistic. Because let's be honest, what's super realistic about a giant lizard that shoots lasers out of his mouth, right?
I mean, it's not far-fetched. I mean, we haven't explored very much of space, so I mean, it is a possibility.
I mean, you never know.
It is possible.
Elon Musk is gonna get to Mars. Elon Musk is gonna get to Mars, and turns out there's a whole like habitat of these things.
He'll make his own. He'll make his own Mechagodzilla, and he's like, "Hey, I did this for the memes, okay? So appreciate it."
Honestly,
Everyone's gonna be like, "All right, cool."
I could see it. I could see it.
All right. So, in terms of what I thought on the movie, now I watched it with my dad just yesterday, okay? And he's a big Godzilla fan, all right?
Mhm.
And there were some things about the movie he would have changed. Now, at first, when I first saw it, I thought to myself, you know what, it looks good. And it was, don't get me wrong, it was good. But there are some parts that we would have changed in terms of, and I don't mean on the monsters parts. The monsters parts, fine. Perfect. Everything about it, fine. It's on the humans part, the acting part. There were some parts during the scenes where the comedic timing was off. I feel like some of the comedic timing ruined the movie. Not to mention, I feel like they focused more on one side than they did the other, and obviously that's probably because they wanted to, explain what Kong was doing. Because the last time we saw him was back in, 2017, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, like they wanted to explain where he's been, what he's been doing ever since 1970 something or later. So I feel like making this about Kong a little bit actually helped out the movie a little bit more than expected. Excuse me. So I liked that they focused. They didn't just solely make it based off of the humans alone, because in the last movie they kind of did that more than they did with the fight scenes, and that was what really brought it down. But it wasn't perfect. It wasn't as perfect. So I mean, other than that, the movie was great. I love the CGI. The CGI. Oh my god. Oh, spectacular. It was great.
So good.
So,
daytime fights.
Yeah, it was so good, man. It was so amazing. Okay. So, first segment. Let's talk about the beginning, the opening credit scene. Let's talk about that. Specifically the moment right before they show the locations of where Godzilla and Kong are. You remember the part where the monsters were shown, like the kill count, so to speak? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So like the defeated and
right, like
all that stuff.
How do you explain that? Do you know what that was? Because like it saw
I
Rodan,
think
Methuselah.
I don't think all of those monsters were killed. I think a part of the defeating is including bowing down to Godzilla at the end of King of the Monsters as
Mm,
admitting defeat, admitting that
right.
they won't beat him. I do not believe these monsters are dead. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that would have
After they
destroyed
bowed
them.
down, I don't think Godzilla just went and did a clean
Full
sweep, you know?
180 and just killed all of them in one wipe. It's like,
Yeah.
psych!
I don't think that's what happened. I do think the only reason it said defeated is because they don't have the chance to be alpha anymore.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, Rodan could turn at any point, but, him being him, I don't think he would.
Rodan plays a character kind of like Starscream for Transformers.
Right.
Well, not exactly. Rodan's a pick the winning side.
Right, yeah, no, that's true. I can see that, because in the last movie, that was the case. But, like, the real question I have surrounding them is, where were they during this fight? I mean, it would make sense that they wouldn't get involved, because it didn't, like, there was no, I guess, Alpha Titan like Ghidorah was that was calling them to, I guess, to one singular area. But I don't know,
Yeah.
like, it's weird, because I feel like they could have played a part in this movie, some part. Now, not all of them, like, Stilla, what would she have done? She would have just been killed. Methuselah. Methuselah's old. He's like an old grandpa. I don't know how he wouldn't do very much, but like some of them could have played a role in the movie.
I was really hoping for a little bit rundowns on Methuselah and Behemoth, because those
Mm.
two I find very interesting.
Right.
I understand why they weren't brought in, because Godzilla's like his place as a Titan, the way he rules as an alpha,
Mhm.
he doesn't wake up the rest. He kind of does shit himself.
Right.
That was a cuss. I apologize.
It's fine. It's okay. You're good, man.
So basically, I don't see a reason for them to having to get up, but I kind of wish there was more detail on what they're doing now,
Mhm.
or if they're just sleeping, or maybe even just run over it in a human scene or something.
I feel like, and we'll get more into depth with this later. Some of them might have gone to Hollow Earth. I feel like there's more to Hollow Earth, and there's obviously more to Hollow Earth than we're being led on. I feel like there's more.
Remember the one, like in the Hollow Earth? I just kind of wanted to go over the Titans in there, or not Titans, but just like the creatures in there. Did you see that like lizard thing that attacked?
Yeah, I saw that.
Or like picked up.
My brother said it was like, hey, that looks a lot like Godzilla. And personally, I think it might be like a weird like ancestor kind of thing, not entirely Godzilla, but like something related to it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna be serious about it. I was just gonna make the joke. It's the beast from 20,000 Fathoms after the wife's divorce. Let himself go,
He let himself go. My favorite creature out of the entire movie were the crab things.
Yeah, they carried the movie.
They really did. Imagine though, like inside of Kong's temple. We're not gonna get into this. I just want to say this. We'll get into it later. But like, imagine dying to one of those ugly looking bat things. Like, how would that?
Those things were hideous.
How would you explain that to God in heaven? It's like, hey, how'd you die? I died to an ugly looking bat thing. It's like, are you kidding me right now?
Like literally anything. Anything else could have happened.
Honestly.
Oh man, like you didn't die on like the gravity crap or whatever, and
they really
like,
pulled a Odyssey
you didn't die to
2001.
Godzilla or Kong or anything. You died to this goddamn owl bat.
At least go out with a bang. Come on now.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about the beginning scene with Kong and Gia and Skull Island. Oh no, I don't want that to play. I accidentally played it. So we were talking about before we started the stream about the storm, and it's shown in the beginning of the movie in the opening credits that there was a storm that was engulfing Skull Island, and I find that weird because the storm's always been there. So what makes this so different?
Well, you remember from the original Kong movie, the storm is what enclosed Skull Island from the rest of the world. It was the thing that basically made that its own little area. My personal theory is that in the events of King of the Monsters, Ghidorah was making a storm that was engulfing Earth.
Right. Right. Yeah, yeah,
by the
yeah.
end of the movie, and it started pushing the other storm that was surrounding Skull Island and pushing it onto the island.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
That's what I believe happened because, as they said, this happened recently because Gia is still a kid and Gia was there when the storm started and Kong saved her.
And the entire Iwi species was wiped out, if I remember
Hmm.
correctly. Yeah. But I just find it weird, like it intensified so much to the point where all life that was on Skull Island went void. You know, it was just gone.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
had to just build a
I
new enclosure. It was weird.
Yeah, no, it was, and I guess the whole idea is that they didn't want to bring Kong out because obviously Godzilla wouldn't have been too happy with that, and they didn't want
Immediate
another fight.
like a radar. It's like as soon as Kong steps 1 foot out of that thing, it's like, I'm on you. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, basically.
uh,
No, Godzilla in this movie, another thing I wanted to mention without spoilers. Oh my God.
mhm.
This dude, no chill. Um, like in other movies, yeah, he almost felt he had a moral up until this movie. And now he just doesn't care.
Yeah, he really doesn't. His wife was killed, man. His wife was killed. He has every right in the world.
I mean, fair enough.
It's true, but I mean,
That makes sense.
also the fact, and like I said, we'll get into this later. The fact that he was being, like mind controlled, or I wouldn't say mind controlled, like being like absolute mind wiped by Apex, and after that finally
Yeah.
being gone, I guess that like took a lot of stress off of him. He's like, finally, now I know. Now I know what the problem that this is. I just gotta take you out, and I never gotta deal with this again. So
One thing I never understood is the massive difference between Apex in King of the Monsters and Apex in Godzilla versus Kong. Like they
right,
shifted. Like obviously there's still not a moral
yeah, no, they
company
don't care
or
about morals or anything.
but the overall eco-terrorism that they were doing, and now they build robots,
Yeah, it's like out of
so to speak.
nowhere.
Like how did you get through this like obviously publicized kidnapping that they did, and then they're able to go up and become this like giant company now?
Exactly. It's like I don't know if you played Outlast. It's kind of like that. It's like you've got all this shady stuff going on, and no one thinks to report it. Like at all, you've gotten away with
Exactly.
this for like 5 years. How? How? And like the lawsuits that would come from that, and like the at the end of the movie, like you know how
Well,
many
even
lawsuits that's gonna come from Apex because of what they did.
I mean, I think the whole world should have known that Apex woke up Ghidorah. You know how that would have
Yeah.
been taken in that world?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly. But they got out of that like by the skin of their teeth, pretty much. And it's like,
yeah, like
huh,
I,
great.
I, I was always just kind of curious about that. That part didn't make sense to me.
And like the director dude who like led the eco-terrorism thing back in King of the Monsters, where did he go? Was he in jail?
Right?
Like
I don't know. He's just
same
not
with
talked about.
Madison's mother. Where is she?
She's dead.
Oh, she's dead.
Remember,
I
like
forgot
from
that part. I forgot that.
yeah, she's 6 feet underground, man. I'm sorry.
I forgot that she died. Okay, I
I
forgot.
hate to break the news to you.
No, she's dead. No, I find it okay. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk the after Godzilla attacks the Apex base. Let's talk about
Okay.
that shining red thing that he found. What do you think that was a part of Mechagodzilla that was supposed to be sent off to Hong Kong in order for him to be, like I guess fully developed? Well, I wouldn't say fully developed because 40% that kind of thing without the I'll get into that later. But like what do you think that was? Was it just like a signal beacon that each Apex facility has?
Uh, I personally believe it is a piece of Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
My opinion is that it's the processing unit, so the thing that
Mm.
obviously sends signals to different parts of Mechagodzilla's frame to make it move. So it's basically the equivalent of our brain, and obviously what's going on. There's the Ghidorah signals being pushed into that, so Godzilla's pissed.
Right, it's like a double. It's both. I think it's like the humans. What is it from the Orca? I'm trying to remember what it was called. Like the humans. Not signal. Maybe it was signal. Human signal and
The
Ghidorah signal.
bioacoustics?
Yeah, the bioacoustics, and they mix together. It's like human and Ghidorah mixed together, making like an what's it called? A new sound that mimics
Like an
another
alpha
apex.
frequency?
Yeah, that's it. Like an alpha frequency. That's what's
Yeah.
pissing him off. Is like, hey, stop that! I'm done with this. Please, you're messing with me. I keep going all over the world, and you keep trying to hurt me.
I already killed this man once.
Oh, you're not dead. It's like, Kevin, why? It's like Kevin's like, I stay persistent. You can't kill me off.
Yo. What was that? 1 second here. The Skullcrawler in Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, the alpha one. Wait, his name was Albert, right?
Yeah, they're calling him Albert now, and I just love it. Like,
Bruh, rest in
no-
peace, Albert, my guy. Like, he didn't even stand a
Albert-
chance.
What did he have? Like 2 minutes of screen time?
Pretty much. Well, I would say more like 30 seconds, minus the fact when he was getting cut in half by the beam. But yeah, I mean, screen time as a whole, about like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
But that's another thing. Like, what could Apex possibly be doing breeding skull crawlers? Like,
Yeah, that was
besides,
an interesting thing. I don't know if they're just using them as test subjects, as like, obviously the weaker Titans.
right,
So
yeah,
they're not like bringing in a destructive Titan. Like obviously skull crawlers, I think I've explained this a lot on my TikTok that skull
Mhm.
crawlers are probably one of the weakest
right.
so-called Titans in this universe. So I'm assuming they're just kind of using them as guinea pigs.
That would make sense, but again, I want to say, and I could be wrong about this, that they're using them for something more. Now, what? We don't know. Because, I mean, if they're just testing Mechagodzilla's capabilities, they've got, remember in like the kill floor, the corporate friendly way of saying kill floor, there were like different areas. There's like 10, 9, 8. They had so many. Now, whether or not those were empty or full with skull crawlers, we don't know. But the fact that they had so many of them, I'm assuming they have a lot of them. I think that's overkill, because where are they going to keep them? How do they hatch? Do they do it manually, or is it like based off of just, I want to say fate, but like,
And one thing I think about is if they're keeping all these skull crawlers in a contained area,
Mhm.
knowing their biology and like how they react to their environment, wouldn't you think they'd start cannibalizing each other or something?
Oh no, that would,
like that.
yeah, no, that would make sense. I don't think that's far-fetched for skull crawlers. That seems like something they would do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're just, I don't know, the movies kind of treated them like these brainless
Mhm.
killing machines.
I mean, they see something that moves and they're going right after it.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much how they work. All right, we
no,
we went on a tangent. We went so far down a rabbit hole. All right,
I know.
but that's what podcasts are about, so it's fine. All right, let's see here. Speaking of podcasts, the dude, I forget his name, the guy who was running the Titans podcast. Why do you think it took him so long in order to finally get his what is it called? His like story out to the world about Apex and whatnot. And plus, why was he not caught? I mean, like eventually you would think he'd find, because he's a whistleblower. So like
I've been. Oh, go ahead.
oh, it's like I don't know how Apex would not have found them. If Apex is as smart or as creative, or I guess what's it called? As sly as they are, they would have probably figured that out.
Right. That's honestly, I've been thinking about that since I first seen the movie. Like how did they not correlate the voice at all? Like
Mhm.
he wasn't using any sort of like voice change or anything like that.
Right.
I feel like they would have caught on. Or how would this guy have access like without any sort of like legit security card? As shown, he didn't even have one
Yeah,
when he was trying to escape. Like how did this happen? I feel like that's a major plot hole in the movie.
that is a major plot hole, because if a high school girl and a high school guy can find out who you are, what's to say an entire company couldn't find you? Like that doesn't correlate. It doesn't make sense, you know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like anyone
Like,
with half a mind could figure out the bleach thing. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm pretty dull when it comes to certain things.
Like the Tide Pods thing. It's like, hey, I'm still dealing with those lawsuits from the Tide Pod things you that those kids came to buy and just ate them. And then,
I have a wonderful thing called book smarts, but when it comes to street smarts, I would be lost.
oh my god, ow. Okay, let's talk
You good?
about. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I almost choked on my
All
gum.
right.
All right, let's talk
Ah,
about.
darn.
Um, I want to say Sarazawa, but I don't want to go too far in depth with Sarazawa because if I do that, we'll go down another rabbit hole that we should be going down later on in the stream. Um,
Okay, I'll keep myself. I'll keep myself.
all right, let's talk about when he attacked the Apex base. When we first see him in the movie, um, what did you like the most about him in this movie than the other movies that we've seen of Godzilla?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, you can be
I
blatantly honest. Like,
I
yeah,
didn't really care about Ren. He
okay,
didn't have enough screen time to speak to me. Like he did not have the character his father did. I
right. Oh
mean,
yeah,
he
yeah,
he had a lot more common sense than the actual CEO of the company. I actually forget the CEO's name.
yeah. I don't remember his
Um,
name either.
okay, the CEO was such a what's the word? He's the exact character he thought he was going to be.
Right, right,
but
right.
anyway, but anyway, Ren,
Uh,
I I liked him for who he was, but I feel like they didn't touch on him enough.
right. That's true. I feel like he was low-key kind of played a little bit. Like he was used as a pawn. I want to say low-key because he kind of knew what he was doing, but at the same time, he was like sort of used as a pawn. Not just by the director of Apex,
Yeah.
but also by Ghidorah. Ghidorah was like, okay, I'm gonna mess with this guy a little bit. Kevin. Kevin's so sly, okay? He knows what he's doing. He may act stupid, but Kevin knows what he's doing.
No, Kevin is that 8,000 IQ play
He
that you see
really
on
does.
YouTube all the time.
Every time. Every single time. Kevin's just a different breed of smart.
Oh, exactly. He was actually the one who was controlling the other two.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, no. People don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit it. But he was
no,
controlling both of them.
absolutely. Yeah, no, the metalhead was just a pawn. He was just a That's why Godzilla went for Kevin.
That's
Why?
true, yeah. Because he knew. See, Godzilla knew. He knew the entire time.
Exactly.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay. So next thing. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, about when we first see Godzilla. What did you think about the colored blue eyes? Do you think that was because of or no, actually, let me back up a little bit more. Godzilla's movements, his size, and his atomic beam. Do you think the reason they looked that way was because of the nuke that they dropped on him, or I wouldn't say dropped on him, exploded in front of his face back in King of the Monsters? Do you think that's because of the evolution was because of that?
I think it had a huge play in it.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla, he was juiced up in this movie more than we've ever seen. Like,
Oh
obviously
yeah,
besides thermonuclear, but
right.
um Godzilla in this movie was on a different level compared to anything else we've ever seen.
Right. That's true.
I feel like the nuke that Serizawa gave him in the last movie was a major part of it, but I also think now Godzilla, after the Ghidorah fight, I don't know, it's been resonating with him. I feel like he has some sort of like PTSD with it or something. And so he's
He
been
has PTSD with every fight he has. He's like, man, every time someone mentions a word, he's like, oh god, I can't do this. I can't do this right now.
Why are the trees speaking Vietnamese?
No, what's happening? Yo, Kong's speaking English. What's happening? I can hear voices.
Yeah, in all reality, he's like going through thunderstorms and hearing the suck.
Exactly. He's got tinnitus and everything. It's like this ringing
Yeah.
won't go.
But I feel like he's been just like off screen between the movies. I feel like he's just been getting as much radiation as possible.
Mhm.
Like in between, like he's just been feeding as much as possible. Because in this movie, like we'll get into spoilers later on in the stream,
Right.
not right now.
Mhm.
So I'll save it till later.
Okay.
But No, Godzilla was on a different level in both his in his physical actions and his atomic actions, like in terms of his atomic breath
Right.
and
Another thing, do you
man,
think?
he
Oh no, sorry. You keep going. Sorry.
no, go ahead. I didn't have much else to add.
Oh, okay. So, referencing back to old movies, you remember the blue spiral ray, right? Do you think this pays homage to this movie with the blue eyes and the blue breath? Although it always was blue, but like for some reason I feel like it was more dense. This one was more dense than the last ones. It like had more of a straight shot. If you know what I'm saying, it was like darker. Do you think it pays homage to
No,
that one?
I think so. I think it was put into consideration.
Hmm.
I was really hoping to see the red spiral ray in
Oh
this
yeah,
movie.
I saw
I was
Mechagodzilla and I was like, "Hey, is that the red spiral ray? We taking that now?" But I don't know for sure if that
yeah,
was
that's
it.
what I was thinking, but because could you imagine? Oh wait, no, spoilers. We'll go later.
Okay. Do you have like do you want to word it differently so you don't spoil it, but we can mention it later on?
I don't think I can word it differently.
There's
I
no
mean, I guess
possible
it's not
way.
a huge thing. It doesn't like go off of a winner, and I think everyone knows Mechagodzilla's in the movie anyway. So
Yeah,
you know
that's
that
true.
scene where Mechagodzilla and Godzilla have their atomic breath battle, so they
Oh
like
yeah,
shoot
the
atomic breath
beam
at each other.
struggle.
Could you imagine like just a scene where Godzilla's atomic breath turns orange and has the spirals going around it, and he beats Mechagodzilla with it?
Oh, that'd be so cool. It
Like
turns
just
from
an
like blue to like and like the eyes change orange and then so does the beam and it just gets stronger or something like that.
yeah, and like just an extra scene like that.
Oh, that'd be so cool, like some Dragon Ball Z kind of stuff.
Because I feel like Godzilla had no character development in this
Oh no, he
movie.
didn't.
Well, I mean, like the tiniest little bits, but like nothing. I feel like that would have been just like even just that would have been something to push his character in the MonsterVerse forward.
Very, very, very true. I feel like and it makes sense that they focus more on Kong in this movie because honestly, we don't know
Mhm.
where he's been for the past God knows how many years, so it makes sense. But I feel like what they did with Godzilla is whenever he was fighting Kong, they showed off the things he's learned, how faster he's gotten, how much more powerful he is in comparison to all like the like Kong and everything and Mechagodzilla. Like
Mhm.
the durability was absolutely insane. You can't argue that. That was
Oh
insane.
no. Legend one thing about Legendary, like I do not consider him well, he's getting pretty strong, but
Mhm.
he's not one of the big guys
I say give it
for the
time.
different Godzillas. Yeah, me too. I'd say give it time as well, as he has been getting stronger every movie.
Mhm.
But God, I lost train of thought.
It's fine. We all do
Um,
that.
Godzilla over time, he is getting stronger,
Mhm.
but he's definitely not up with like Heisei or
Right.
Final
No,
Wars
for
or
sure. For
and
sure.
definitely nowhere near like the any sort of like comic
Oh
Godzilla
God,
or
no. Yeah, no, 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 no.
nowhere near
We
in
can't
that
have that
range.
discussion yet. We can't have that discussion yet because it's nowhere close.
No, no, it's nowhere close. Now I feel like he's getting closer to Final Wars and Heisei. Not quite there, but like the legendary Godzilla has shown pretty damn impressive feats.
Yeah, no.
And
Mhm. Yeah, true.
like one of those, I'm not gonna go over the ones that were in Godzilla vs Kong because there's a new feat in that movie, or two new feats in that movie that I think are impressive as hell.
Crocodile
But
mode.
okay, yeah, that one too. That crocodile mode beats everything. The interior crocodile
Crocodile
alligator.
mode beats fiction. I don't care what you say.
Interior crocodile
Crocodile alligator.
alligator
They
mode.
literally paid homage to it. Interior crocodile alligator. Oh my god. Oh my
But
goodness.
in previous movies and the books, a lot of people don't talk about the books for the
Oh yeah,
MonsterVerse.
yeah,
And when he survived the Permian extinction head on,
yeah. Hmm.
like basically head on, that
Right.
was a feat and a half.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
for
definitely
sure.
a feat and a half. I actually believe that is Godzilla's legendary Godzilla's biggest durability feat
Right. No, no,
was
you're
in
right.
Godzilla. Oh, what's it called? What was that book called? It's not Aftershock.
Is it
It's
Dominion? Is that's the new one that came out? I don't know if it's like
no,
not that one.
it's the one that's set like way back.
Oh, way back. Do you know what series?
I forget what it's called. I forget what it's called. I'll figure it out later on.
Okay.
It'll come to me. And then his feat in King of the Monsters are being dropped from the stratosphere.
Oh,
And
yeah. That's an impressive feat. If you survive being dropped from the freaking stratosphere, that's
the
a feat and a
thing,
half.
well, and there's more to that than you think. Taking math into consideration, I know nobody likes talking about math,
I
but
suck at math. I'm not that good.
I love doing physics in high school, but it's fine. Um, you you remember being a kid and jumping off the top of the jungle gym, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't do that now, and that's because you weigh more. The
Oh, that's
more
true.
weight you have, the more effect you have on gravity, and the more damage it's going to do to you when you hit the ground.
That's why he
Now,
burned in
Godzilla
flames, right?
Now Godzilla, yeah, and Godzilla being 99,000 metric tons hitting that ground is a force equivalent to it's something ridiculous like 4 Tsar Bombas.
Good lord, man. That's insane.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
Oh, someone said in the comments, was it Godzilla Awakening? Was that the
Yeah, that's it. That's
Awakening?
it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Godzilla Awakening, that's the one where he shot or fought the Shinomura.
Ishinomura, was that the hold on, what's it called? What's it called? Was that flying blue thing that was made up of many
Yeah,
different
yeah.
organisms? Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Shinomura is it's a Japanese word. In English translates to cloud of death.
Oh, that sounds heartwarming. That sounds real
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Oh my.
So, and that monster got killed in 1954. I think it was like right after they tried to kill Godzilla, and Godzilla
Just like,
was actually having his battle with Shinomura.
oh, okay. I've
And
only ever like what's it called? I've only ever skimmed over. I never actually read it, but I remember that part.
yeah, no. I thought Aftershock was a more fun book to read, which
Hmm.
was the one where he fought Muto Prime or Jinshin Mushi or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it. Muto Prime sounds easier.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, like a lot of people have gotten mad at me and like, no, its correct name is Jinshin Mushi. You're being lazy. I'm like, leave me alone.
It's Muto Prime, okay? Here in America, we're calling it Muto Prime. Deal with it.
Leave me alone.
Just just let me call it what I want to call it, man. Alright.
It's like, or when people call Kong King Kong, even though in the MonsterVerse he's not.
Yeah, no, it's just Kong. It's just Kong in the MonsterVerse.
It's just Kong in the MonsterVerse, but I'm not gonna get mad at somebody for calling him King Kong.
Mm-hmm. You know, because people think of it as that. Like they grew, I wouldn't say they grew up with it, but that's what they know him as. So it makes sense that they call him that.
I didn't look into this. I did not look into this, but I heard the reason he's called Kong is because they don't have legal rights to the name King Kong.
Oh yeah, because Toho was like, yeah, you can't really do that. So I'm not gonna let you.
Does Toho own King Kong right now?
I'm not sure. Actually,
I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you.
I can look it up right now. I believe they do. Oh no, it's owned by various studios, including Toho. So Toho, Paramount Pictures, Universal Pictures, and Warner Bros. So
so Warner Bros does have the
yeah, they have the rights to it as well.
Huh.
Yeah,
but they just call him Kong. I guess they just removed the king anyway because they did that with Ghidorah as well.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. People would think of him as like just Ghidorah or King Ghidorah. Like you said, it's based off of the company that's I guess creating it. Even though in the long run it is owned by Toho, I guess Toho gives the companies who are making the movies creative freedom to call them like whatever they want, but within like reason. You know, like not call Ghidorah some other weird name that's never existed before. So I think that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so
where would you?
What was it? What are you gonna say?
What would you rate? One, Godzilla versus Kong in a monster, like in terms of other movies in the MonsterVerse, and where would you rate it as a Godzilla movie, and where would you rate it as a Kong movie, a King Kong movie?
Oh, that's a good question. So 3 questions in one. So in terms of where I would rank this in terms of MonsterVerse movies, I'd actually probably put it at number 1. The reason I say that
I was gonna say the same thing. I have a weird part of that though, and I'll go about that later.
Okay. I mean, hey, You say what you need to. I mean, it's your opinion.
My
Go with it.
I have a very, very unpopular opinion. And Godzilla 2014 is one of my S tier Godzilla movies.
Okay.
And the reason for that, I know a lot of gripes with it, is that Godzilla didn't have a lot of screen time and there's a lot of human action. But if you compare it to any other MonsterVerse film, the acting, like it can be boring, but the acting in 2014 was amazing.
Yeah, no, the acting in 2014 was actually really good.
It wasn't a funny movie. They didn't add humor to it. And I felt like that was a really good option for it.
Yeah.
And the shots of the monsters, like I understand that it's a dark movie and it's hard to see, but the shots, like even when they're on the bridge there, and just the overall sense of scale you're getting of these monsters. And I think Godzilla's low screen time in that movie helped him out because it added an extra sense of holy crap when he was on screen.
Right, exactly. And I think they executed that very well. But I feel like in the second movie, they kind of tried to add comedy, but it didn't connect. It just really didn't. It wasn't there. You know, it was like
King of the Monsters had the worst
yeah
scenes in the MonsterVerse.
It wasn't
King
even
of the Monsters. King of the Monsters, I actually thought was god awful for its human scenes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't as interesting. But once it got to the monster fights, the reason I liked the monster fights the most, even though there weren't as many, was because there were so many. There's like Rodan, Mothra, Ghidorah, Methuselah, all these other ones that kept showing up, and it's like, wow, oh, this is so cool. What is this? And it's like you wish you'd have more. They'd have more screen time. But
One thing. Oh, go
no,
ahead.
it's fine. I wasn't gonna say anything interesting. I didn't know what I was gonna say.
With King of the Monsters is that it's so much fun the first time. Afterwards, it's kind of boring.
Yep, I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
As I actually think Godzilla vs. Kong is extremely rewatchable.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. But like, whenever I watch King of the Monsters, I basically only ever watched it to see Ghidorah. That was it.
Oh, I thought Ghidorah was really cool. Like, he's one of my favorite Ghidorah designs there is.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, I like how maybe they could have changed this a little bit more. The sound designs they use for Ghidorah and Godzilla, although I don't know if they changed Godzilla's for MonsterVerse. They probably did. But honestly, I like this Ghidorah's roar than I do the other ones. It felt more full, so to speak.
No, I 100% agree with you. Like, Toho was always so good. That's why Toho did so well, because they knew how to give their monsters roars. Godzilla is actually the biggest contender for this. Godzilla had a really creative roar, which was the sound of a leather glove being rubbed up against a violin, slowed down and played in reverse.
That's awesome. Things you can do with inanimate objects.
Well, apparently, the guy who was assigned to go and try and make a sound for Godzilla in the 1954 movie, he was sent to a zoo, and he couldn't find anything, because the issue was Godzilla was nothing like we have on Earth. And that's why. So he decided to get creative with it. He saw the violin in his office and decided to do some stuff with it.
Just slap a baby, throw a cat, use a violin. This is how we're gonna do it. Perfect. Voila. That's how it goes.
I love sound design. I love sound design so much. And that's another thing I loved about 2014. The sound design was done so carefully.
Oh yeah, no, it was done very carefully. But the weird thing, like, I don't know, I didn't look at the I wouldn't say the design, the background of how Ghidorah was made, and I don't know if this is true, but they had 3 people acting as the heads. Is that true?
Yeah, they did.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, they did. And they also had a guy like it's to base the CGI, kind of have a base for it. One of them was what's his name? The guy who also did it for Smog. He played Doctor Strange.
Oh, was it? Oh God, Benedict Cumberbatch. That's it. Yeah, that dude.
Yeah, he played one of the Ghidorah heads. I think the middle one.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. That's why the fight scenes were so good, especially in this one, because they were so fluid.
Okay. Benedict knows what he's doing when
he's gotten so used to it to the point where it's like, yep, I know what I'm doing.
He did it for Smog, right?
Yeah, he did it for Smog. He did that too.
I thought Smog was so cool.
All right, we went on a tangent. Let's
We
get
did.
back.
We did it
We went down the rabbit hole again. It is what it is. All right. All right, so let's talk about what's it called? Wasn't the observatory? Let me think. It was the part where they're in the lab with Alexander Skarsgård. Both the director and Ren Serizawa. Whenever they talk about Alexander Skarsgård's brother going into Hollow Earth, do you think we will have something that will relate to that in a movie close, like in the next movie, or like a movie after, or in the new comic that's about to come out called Godzilla Dominion, which explains what happened from the time of King of the Monsters all the way to Godzilla vs. Kong?
So we're talking about the brother that passed away of the character who was like on Kong's journey there with
Yeah.
Gia, and yeah, I don't think he's gonna come back if the MonsterVerse continues.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, and that's just going off of how the MonsterVerse has been with the human actors. They've brought back Serizawa, and they brought back Emma, and oh gosh, what was her dad's name?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I don't remember his name. But I know you're talking about.
Back a lot of actors, like the amount of actors that were in King of the Monsters that just did not come back. Granted, I did not care for 90% of the characters in
That's
King of
true.
the Monsters.
Yeah.
What was that one's name? Rick? Oh,
Oh yeah,
couldn't
Rick.
stand him.
Yeah. Was he the dude who was I guess he was like, I wouldn't say the secretary, but he's the dude that was like oh my goodness. He's the one who showed like the reproductive thing to the court, right?
No, that's the I forget that guy's name, but he looks like a weasel.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Never mind, I know who you're talking about now.
No, Rick was the guy who when they're going into the Hollow Earth, they're like, "Oh my god, Godzilla."
Oh, that dude. Yeah, I know. The dude who couldn't capitalize on the comedic moments like at all for.
Yeah, no, his comedic timing was god awful.
It was terrible. It's so bad, man. Yeah, so
I think
oh, sorry.
My biggest gripe with King of the Monsters was human action.
That was just, they just ruins it. It ruins it. Like now I know that that's how the story's supposed to progress, but they could do a little bit less with it. I feel like if
it was so lazy in King of the Monsters though, which I understand. It's a Godzilla movie. Don't expect nice human action, but
that's true. I think they focused more. Actually, they definitely focused more on the monsters than they did the humans, and for good reason.
Probably for the best.
It was for the best. Yeah, no, it made sense. They had to like pick their poison, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. As 2014 was the polar opposite. A lot less action. The action was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was really hard to see, but the human acting was done well.
Exactly. I think it was meant to like keep the viewer in suspense, so to speak, especially with that train scene. I guess maybe.
Here's how it is. King of the Monsters is meant for Godzilla fans.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Godzilla 2014 is meant to bring the character to Western audiences.
Right.
And be more of a more friendly to the average viewer.
Like the protector, loyal savior of the world, so to speak. Like that's just the design,
like underlining the King of the Monsters title and whatnot.
Right. That makes sense. I see what you mean. And then King Kong was meant to, I guess, not elaborate more on Godzilla, but more Kong related. I guess they wanted to try to get a what's it called, an even balance between the two, but then again they wanted to be like, hey, we haven't seen or heard from Kong in forever, so let's give him the blunt or like the more in-depth storyline for him than Godzilla, because from what we saw in the last movie, I mean, we already know.
The movie was 100% Godzilla's MonsterVerse movie.
Exactly.
Like King of the Monsters was Godzilla's movie. This movie was Kong's like update movie. I think it was mainly about Kong.
Oh yeah,
regardless of what happened in the movie, because me and you both know what happened. Kong was the center of attention in this movie, and I think they did it very well. The human action, I know it has its flaws, but I don't think it was as bad as King of the Monsters, and it was kind of comparable to Skull Island.
I can see that.
Because there wasn't an actor in this movie that I hated.
I think there was less. There was a lot less than we anticipated from the last one. You remember there was like so many, but this one there's three,
There's like
four.
6 main ones.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They tried to go less on the actors this time around, so you don't have to
Mhm.
keep up with them. Which I
And
guess.
I think that was a great idea.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I have my
Your pros and cons
I
on
think
it.
for the human action on its own, I give it a 6 out of 10. As for King of the Monsters had like a 2 out of 10 for the
Yeah,
human action.
very much so. They just need to. I feel like they need to elaborate that more. They need to like really, really sit down and talk about the human acting and how it's like how it correlates to the film and like whether or not they want to, I guess, go shorter with it, but make it more dense in terms of how the story
Well,
progresses.
yeah, no, I'll give examples here. So there's a huge difference between 2014, 2019. I'm not going to include Skull Island here
Mhm.
because it's kind of in a gray area, but there's 2014, 2019, and then obviously Godzilla versus Kong. 2014, it was way more centered around the humans, but it was done very well for the human action.
Mhm.
Um, it didn't feel forced, the human action. It just felt like the main area. As for King of the Monsters, the main area was the monster action. That was the main highlight of the film.
Right.
But the human action, when it was there, felt extremely forced.
Oh yeah, very much
It
so.
felt shoved down our throats. As for Godzilla versus Kong, yeah, the main focus is the monsters, but they didn't force us the human action. It actually felt like it had a good place on where it was. I mean, I understand that there's a couple bad timings and whatnot,
Hmm.
but
Right.
otherwise it was very bearable. And
Right. Unlike
I know that's not saying a lot, but
exactly. I mean,
King
let's
King of
be.
the Monsters was.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Go ahead.
Okay,
No,
like
go ahead.
let's be honest. I mean, like the human action in this movie is a lot more bearable than older movies. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. And
very much
honestly,
so.
the issue with that is because dubbing is so cringy to listen to.
You're right.
Because I'm not even gonna lie, if like I can understand a little bit of Japanese. I can't really speak it, but I can understand some of it. And when I watch it in Japanese, oh my gosh, it is so much more bearable to watch
Yeah,
the
no,
Godzilla
it's like
movies.
watching anime. It's like after you watch so many for so long, it's like, hey, I know this word, I know this word, or something like that.
Yeah, you pick up a thing or two.
Exactly. Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Right.
what was your first Godzilla movie?
My first Godzilla movie was, believe it or not, the 1998 American adaptation of
I
Godzilla.
respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, that was my very first one. And believe it or not, after I watched it like 5 more times. I thought it was the greatest thing to happen. But once I started, like, scaling
I'm
them.
kind of I'm kind of glad that wasn't my first, for the reason that I felt like I would have been super disappointed to hear what the rest of the Godzilla community would have said about it. Like, oh, you guys don't like it too?
Oh man. What
My
was your?
first was Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
Oh, that one.
Um,
That one was a good one. I actually like. I don't know. I don't want to go down on a tangent, but Space Godzilla was smart in that movie. He
oh,
was.
he was. Well, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people compare him to Destoroyah, but they have completely different
Yeah,
characters.
very different.
Like, Space Godzilla, like, really faintly kind of has that mad scientist vibe.
Yeah, he's clever. He's sly. He's sly.
Yeah, he's grimy and whatnot, but Destoroyah kind of has the same vibe as Abomination.
He just kills for fun. He finds pleasure
Yeah,
in that.
yeah, exactly.
It's insane. That's what
Like,
I don't want to say this is why I love him so much, but like that is a mindset and a half. That is something that you don't see very often in very many characters.
oh, because he didn't just want to kill Godzilla, he just wanted to get into the emotional bits there. He didn't just want to
Exactly.
hurt him physically, he wanted to hurt him emotionally.
He wanted to like absolutely. It was like have you seen Tokyo Ghoul?
It's been a while.
Okay, yeah, but there's like one part Ken whenever he's going through the like the psychological terror, it's kind of like that, so to speak, and then he like changes the person who's doing it to him goes through like this whole process. It's like puts him through so much torment. I think that's what Destroya would want to do to Godzilla.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, let's continue
Okay,
on our
let's continue.
before we get too far.
We did it again! Oh my god! All right. Let's talk
I
about.
think we're both bad for this.
We're so not set up for this, man. We don't know what we're doing. All right.
We're winging it and we're doing it.
We just keep going on a tangent everywhere. Anyways, let's talk about. We don't need to talk about whenever Alexander Skarsgard goes to Skull Island and says, "Hey, we need Kong. The world needs him." That PTSD moment that he's gonna have for the rest of his life.
Do you know what I thought was actually, I'm gonna say one thing.
Okay.
I thought it was really funny hearing it in the trailer because they made it seem like the world was depending on him to save the world from Godzilla, but in all reality, they just needed him to find an energy source.
It's like, yeah, we should have.
Like, they completely left that out of the trailer.
Yeah, we want to keep that out of there just to keep like the viewers watching. We need Kong just for an energy source. That's it. We can dispose of him afterwards. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that actually brought me into tears when I saw that.
We need Kong to find that energy source. Exactly what he said. The world needs him. Bruh. If you knew what Apex was doing behind the scenes, I think you would have reworded what you said. Okay?
Exactly.
All right, anyways. Anyways. Oh, did you have something you want to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Just like any other versus movie, like Batman versus Superman or Captain America Civil War.
Right.
It's just a big misunderstanding.
It's a very big misunderstanding. Like, I heard, and we're going on a tangent again. We're going to do this again, okay? This is what's going to happen. The people said, they said it was going to be a lot like Batman versus Superman. And honestly, it was like Batman versus Superman intertwined with Transformers 4.
Transformers 4.
It was like the
Which one was that one again?
Honestly, I think that's like the Dark Knight. No, that can't be. No.
With the dinosaurs?
Yeah, it's the one with the dinosaurs. That's right. Yeah, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was Batman versus Superman intertwined with Transformers 4. I heard that from someone.
Right.
I'm like,
I didn't watch I didn't really keep up too much after the third Transformers.
Oh yeah, no, they don't make sense after that. Michael Bay just kind of. Well, we're going on a tangent. Michael, whatever. Okay.
Anyway, so we're talking about Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong, not Transformers. All right, so the boat scene. I know that a lot of people are saying like, "Hey, the reason Kong lost was because he was chained up." But honestly,
we're going into spoilers now, are we?
Oh, we're going into spoilers. Yeah, we're going all in,
okay,
boy.
Now we're going into spoilers. All right, bet.
Yeah, we're going into spoilers. So on this one, I don't understand why people say, "Hey, Kong didn't have very much of an advantage." I understand that he's surrounded by oceans, but my boy was jumping from ship to ship, and he had the opportunity to fight. And it's like, even though he's in Godzilla's territory, so to speak, he still put up a fight. There was a video I saw on TikTok, okay, where it said the reason Kong lost is because he can't swim. And there's literally a scene where Kong is actually swimming. He can't swim as fast as Godzilla.
How would he have gotten back to the surface?
Exactly.
How would he have gotten back to the surface if he couldn't swim?
Exactly. Either the depth charges would have killed him, or something else, or Godzilla. But if he can't swim, exactly what you said, how would he have gotten to the top? That isn't. Like,
yeah, no.
Logically speaking.
Granted, yes, Godzilla had the big advantage here, but that's what fighting, like these kaiju fights, that's what it's all about. It's about who has the advantage where.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's fair or not. It's literally a life or death situation. It's, for example, it's like saying, oh, it's not fair that the grizzly bear killed a moose because he's got sharp teeth. Like,
exactly. It's like, it's insane. Like, you can't compare the two.
Kind of what could be considered unfair, Kong's axe.
That is true. Yeah, that is very, very unfair. Now there's.
I mean,
sorry.
Obviously, it helped close the difference, but
sort of, kind of, a little bit.
Well, kind of.
Now there's. Yeah. I'll get more into the axe once we talk about Hollow Earth, because I have a few theories on Hollow Earth, and like I said, what happened way back when Godzilla and Kong species actually fought each other. So I'll get more into that. But the fight scene of Godzilla and Kong on oh wait, I haven't gotten to that part yet. Yeah, let's just talk about that. Okay, so on that fight, the boat scene, the one that we see in the trailer, again CGI spectacular. The fight spectacular. Again, it was so cool. But here's the thing. A lot of people are arguing the fact that Kong won that fight, but it's like, I don't know how. It doesn't make sense because Godzilla literally dragged him to the depth
so they would survive.
Exactly. And I don't know why people don't understand that. It's like, Okay.
Godzilla. If you don't think Godzilla won that fight, I'm sorry, but
We didn't see the same movie.
exactly.
We did
What did you watch?
not.
The dollar store version?
Yeah.
Or?
Come on now. You watched the old version, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, I actually have the old version just kind of sitting on my desk here.
Oh,
So
for
as soon
real?
as you said that, I looked at it.
I actually have the Biollante,
Like,
the Space Godzilla, and Destroya movie on VCR.
oh, really?
The old versions.
I have a lot on disc. I'm trying to collect them all.
I
Like I
want to
have been
collect
for
them
a
all.
while, but
I
man,
want to be able
I
to.
have a couple. I have a couple, but like not
Not
all of
all of.
them. Like how
Which?
many? Pardon?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, how many do you have as of right now?
Okay, so I have 1954, Raids Again, King Kong versus Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Attack, Terror of Mechagodzilla,
Oh, nice.
Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, Godzilla on Monster Island, all the Heisei movies, Godzilla GMK.
Oh, you got
Oh,
so
I still have
many.
Godzilla versus Megalon. That one got lost. I have the 1998 version. I have the 2014, 2019, and I will be getting Godzilla vs. Kong.
I bought it on HBO Max, so at least I have that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
No, there's like this. Okay, so I live in this tiny little town, and what we do here for something to do is we go up to the town, literally an hour north of us.
Mhm.
And there's this one video store there that they just for some reason always have these old Toho Godzilla movies on disc. So I go there and I see new ones. I'm like,
Mine! Oh, mine!
oh yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Oh,
again, we did it once more. You know what? We shouldn't be surprised that this keeps
it
happening.
wasn't that bad. This time.
Yeah, it wasn't too
It
bad.
wasn't that bad this time.
All right, let's talk about humans. Okay, so after we talked about the Kong, the first fight, and how he had to play dead and Godzilla won that one. Now let's talk about the character Josh. Right? Was it Josh? Was his name? I believe that was his
Who are
name.
we talking about?
The male character who played in Deadpool as the kid, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
The
him.
one that was with Madison and
Whoever the other dude's name was.
God, it's on the tip of my tongue. Whatever.
Yeah, so him. Do you think his character was necessary, so to speak?
Not really. Now that you say that.
That long prolonged silence is just like, yeah, no, not really.
If you really think about it, the only useful thing he did in the movie that I can think off the top of my head is pour the liquor down the computer.
And the transportation. That's about it.
Oh right, yeah, he had a vehicle, but like if you think about it, those two things could have been easily done by someone else.
That is true. Yeah, no, I feel like his character, because he was like the comedic relief, so to speak, but it didn't capitalize. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. It's just the comedic timing just wasn't there. I'm not saying
he's not a bad actor. And here's the thing too, is I've never seen a movie that actor was in without being somewhat of a loser, and I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's man, I don't know. Like, there's some scenes in here that like, you know, the story between, you got like the Kong's storyline and you got Godzilla's storyline. Now I know that they focus more on Kong, as we've stated before in this podcast, but with Godzilla's, I don't feel it's more Godzilla's, so to speak. It's more like trying to find Mechagodzilla, and that brings me to another point.
I mean, there's the little bits they touch on it though, like with Madison and Bruce B.
Oh, Bruce, yeah. Bruce, I don't remember his name.
Like they're at an agreement that Godzilla isn't malicious. He's not out to hurt people for the sake of hurting people. He's pissed because he's going after something that Apex is doing.
Exactly. Yeah, as we found out halfway through the movie.
So they're low key defending him, but the movie, once again, like, it doesn't really cover this a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like with Mechagodzilla, and like my other point that brought me to it, I feel like they should have put Mechagodzilla in more suspense, you know? because it was kind of like rushed in terms of it introducing him.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it should have been like an
Yeah.
oh my god kind of moment, but it's more like, oh, cool, he's right there. I guess it's maybe because they introduced him earlier in the trailers and it kind of just ruined it. But if they would have
I
changed
also
that,
thought his design was not done the way it should have been.
here's the thing on
Like
the design. Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
even like past the arcade claw hands,
Mhm.
um, his face looked ugly.
Well, I think it was
Like,
supposed to mimic Ghidorah's head. It was supposed to mimic that because it was off of Ghidorah's brain wavelength sort of thing.
right. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I just thought mm,
And I
I
feel
don't know.
like
It wasn't my favorite.
I mean, I think there's a reason. And I was gonna go in this earlier, but I guess I can talk about it now. There's a reason that Mechagodzilla looked the way he did. It's like it's basically a prototype, quote unquote. It's if you know like you know how Mechagodzilla works. They make a Mechagodzilla, he gets destroyed. They make another one that's even stronger, and they build off of that, so to speak.
Right.
So this one is just like the first ever generation in the Legendary Productions. Now, obviously, they will definitely make another Mechagodzilla or another Mechagodzilla movie, which with better designs and make it
Yeah, and
look
then
cooler.
they gotta add those like cannons he had on his back
Exactly,
like
right.
Kiryu and Mechagodzilla 2.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be more sleek design. Each design gets better. So I'm not very worried about how it looked. It's mainly, I think it was supposed to look that way. It was supposed to be beaten quickly because it's brand new. They didn't know how to work it. It wasn't, it was like, it was taken over, obviously, and they weren't at full capacity controlling it. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in the movie that I like between the fight of Mechagodzilla and Godzilla that I
Mhm.
didn't quite understand. Like, remember when when Mechagodzilla was like trying to do the whole kiss of death Muto thing with Godzilla? Why didn't
Right.
Godzilla just use his atomic breath in that scene?
I'm not sure. See, here's the thing. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that, and I've discussed this on my TikTok a little bit. I haven't gotten into full detail, but Godzilla literally could have used the exact same thing. Now, you remember in Iron Man 2 whenever Rhodey and Tony did that whole like the arc reactor thing with their hands?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was what was going to happen. It's at such close range. If it would have, I mean, obviously, if one went another way, they would have died. But like, so to speak, if they would have actually done it that way, it would have exploded on contact because it's so close. You know, like I don't know how to explain it. So yeah.
I mean, I basically just kind of put it to the back of my brain so Kong could come into the fight.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's just a plot. It's just a plot mechanic.
Right.
Um,
Right. I mean, that makes
like
sense.
as Stan Lee said, the winner of a movie is decided by the writer, not by the
Exactly.
characters.
Exactly. That's like,
Uh,
I mean, it all just, like, you're right. It all depends on what they think. It's like, because there were scripts. I don't know if you heard this. There were scripts that they wanted to go
oh
with.
yeah, I read these.
Yeah, and it's
I
like,
read into that too.
it's not fair for Kong. We can't do this. There was like 3 or 4 scripts that they had to rewrite in order for it to be fair for Kong. So,
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are saying, that oh Godzilla won because Godzilla stan and because the actors of Godzilla stan. Have you or like you? I've heard even in the reviews that
mhm.
or Adam Wingard loved Kong and he's
Yeah,
more able to relate to him more
exactly. That was
and
something he
didn't
said.
want to treat him with disrespect.
Exactly, because he's looking towards the what is it? The fans' reaction towards it, because he doesn't want to be biased towards one single um kaiju. But he also has to take into account Godzilla is infinitely stronger than Kong is in terms of powers and everything. Kong
Oh,
is an
absolutely.
overgrown monkey with an axe, basically. So you have to put those into comparison. You have to put two and two together. It's like how
And it's just yeah, so he just made the realistic thing. Like even at the start of the production of this movie, he said he wanted to recreate King Kong versus Godzilla
exactly? Yeah,
without having a mm, like you don't know who won sort of thing. Even though King Kong did win that original one, it was confirmed by
yeah,
directors. But
right.
as Adam Wingard said, when you're watching the movie, it's not clear. And he wanted to clarify that. And if you watch this movie, these are massive spoilers, but even at the last 1v1 of Godzilla versus Kong, Kong went back down and started dying.
Exactly. Right.
Kong was dying. Godzilla walked off, spared him because he knew damn well that he won.
Exactly.
And one thing that I noticed that I actually haven't seen anyone taking into consideration, if that last few little bit seconds in the movie of Godzilla and Kong, like when after the fight with Mechagodzilla, when Godzilla roars at him, he
Hmm.
gets up, roars back. There's this stare down, and it pans over to Godzilla, and Godzilla makes a nod, and that's not just any nod. The nod is telling Kong, "Put down your effing
Yeah.
axe."
Yeah. Or I will hurt you, or something
And
like that.
and literally right after that scene, or right after that shot, he puts down his axe, and then Godzilla looks at the axe, roars, and then roars at Kong, turns around slowly, and walks off.
And then you see that clip of Kong with no neck just standing there. Just standing there.
I commented on that video on your TikTok of like just the standing there emoji.
I saw that video. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I've got to make a video on this. He's just standing. He's like,
Yeah, someone's like, "Oh,
What
this
the-
is giving me goosebumps." I'm like, dude, he's literally just standing in the
like he's just standing
like
there.
literally me about to tell my mom at 5 that I threw up last night.
Exactly. I was thinking that's it's like, Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox, please.
He looked just like my little brother saying it. Yeah, exactly.
He's so
Asking to play
confused.
Minecraft with me.
He's so confused. He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, hey, what do I do now? You're leaving.
Putting down the axe, like, oh, I don't want to do it no more.
I won't do this. Oh my goodness. I thought that was hilarious. That part was so funny. Oh, okay.
It was just shot so weird.
It was the no neck. He had no neck. Where did it go?
looking like the Hunchback from Notre Dame.
Honestly, though. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll get to those fights soon. Let's talk about I'm sorry, give me a second.
All right. We're back to before we started the stream.
You're right, we are. To those of you that don't know, we were laughing so hard over. I don't remember what it was. We were laughing about something.
It was about my suit fight that I'm gonna
Oh
do.
yeah, that's right, with
About a
Ghidorah.
suit.
And how like the heads would go back as you're running, as your arms are through like the wings or whatnot, and it's just like running, and it's just the heads are flopping in the back or something.
The only thing supporting the heads would be pools
Yeah,
or something.
it is so stupid but so hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh, I just need those suits to get in. It's taking so long. Anyway, continue.
Okay, let's continue. Let's do this. All right, so let's talk about we briefly talked about the skull crawlers. I don't know if we have anything else we want to talk about that in terms of like their breeding and everything. We might have already covered that. Did we cover all that?
Somewhat. I think wait, did we do this before or during stream?
I have no idea. We've been going for about an hour and 14 minutes. I do not know. I want to say we did. I'm going to go on a tangent and say we did. So I don't think we need to talk about that. So anyways, all right, so let's talk about Kong, Antarctica, Hollow Earth. Now, there is a lot to talk about on this one. A lot. So let's start off with him going in and the whole 2001 Odyssey kind of thing. I don't know if you've seen that movie, like the whole break through space-time kind of thing. So,
no, I watched that as a kid only because that was my birth year. I saw it on there. I'm like,
oh, you saw it on there? Oh, yeah. Actually, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I can't remember very much of it. But yeah,
I only saw it because the title was my birth year, right? So I got excited as a kid.
Cool, my birthday. This means a lot to me. All right. Anyway, so about the gravitational thing. Let me think of how I want to word my question. Do you think hold on, I'm trying to think of the question I want to talk about, because do you think later on, if they make another movie, that will be a problem anytime soon, or will they have to keep doing that over and over and over again with the same heave equipment, even though Apex will definitely have to pay for lawsuits that their creation did in the movie?
Who knows? Maybe Monarch will start working on it. It's hard to say because I mean, Apex is probably going to come back for it for the sake of plot. Um,
Oh, that's true, yeah.
but if they don't, they're probably just going to do something about Monarch remaking them, because I obviously they still have to. At the end of the movie, they were back down at the Hollow Earth because that's Kong's new home.
Right. I feel like it's going to
And
be renamed. Apex is going to be renamed, I think.
what I think too is maybe they're using the passageway in Hong Kong that Godzilla made with his atomic breath
Right.
as their access to Hollow Earth now.
Watch that be like a tourist attraction in the next movie. It's like, hey, you want to go to Hollow
could
Earth
see it.
for free or like for
They
$20?
start inhabiting Hollow Earth. Oh,
That'd be such a bad idea. That'd be such a terrible idea.
right?
I'll get more into depth with that later on. But okay, let's talk about the structures leading into Hollow Earth from all over the world, basically. And like, let's use Antarctica for example, because that's already there. How long do you think that took for them to create and get to where they are in terms of, from the entranceway that Kong went through all the way to where the gravity warps itself? How long do you think that took?
I couldn't tell you because I feel like a part of it was made by a Titan that borrowed.
Oh, true.
Um, but
Muto? Muto?
obviously there's a structure there that's built around it, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
God, that would take a long time. And honestly, I feel like it's kind of an unrealistic approach of how, like, the time period that this movie's set in compared to the last movie. And considering they just found out about the Hollow Earth in 2019.
Right. I just feel like it's weird because the way that it's structured on the inside, you've got those.
One thing.
Oh, what's that?
One thing that I think, it was one of my one of my followers in my TikTok that said something about the area that Kong went to was the same place that Ghidorah got awoken.
Actually, that could.
And that's a theory. I'm not sure, but I think it's probable.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not far fetched. I mean, we obviously know that Ghidorah destroyed the facility in Antarctica. Now, there is a possibility that they could have been working on something to enter Hollow Earth underneath the facility. It's not far fetched. So that's what this could have been, and they've just been working on it ever since. Now, granted, they could be working on it or could have been taking care of it ever since Monarch was first created, and it's from then all the way to now that they've like built as much as they could with like what we see in the movie in Antarctica.
Well, I was creating scenarios in my head that there was a fight between Ghidorah and Godzilla in the Hollow Earth, and Godzilla was trying to chase him out,
Oh,
and
okay.
ultimately when he started to surface, the cold temperatures ended up getting to him and froze him in place.
That's actually a pretty interesting theory. I'm thinking because I know that there's like a story on Ghidorah and how he was frozen in there, but I can't
Is
remember
there?
what.
I have not read anything about that. I'm not educated on that.
I want to say it was like millions upon millions of years ago. He like settled down somewhere, and then that's when like he went to like hibernate or something, and like that's when like the frozen ice caps like I don't want to say capsized in on him, but like froze him in place. But then again, if you're that smart and you're able to terraform a planet, how would you get yourself frozen? Like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to think about.
Well, I mean, it could have been something to do with Godzilla, obviously.
Very much so. Yes.
You just never know, really. It's a gray area.
Maybe they'll mention it. Maybe they'll mention it in like a comic that comes up soon. But anyways, besides that fact, whenever they enter Hollow Earth, how did you think? How did you like how it was structured? Like design wise, in terms of like CGI and how they went about doing it.
I liked it. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a mixture between the portal in or the bridge in Pacific Rim
Oh
and
yeah.
in Guardians of the Galaxy when they do jumps.
Oh yeah.
It reminded me of a mixture of those two, and I did like it. And I honestly did not have a single issue with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I completely agree. It's very weird how the physics work in there though, because I mean, I'll get more in depth with this later. But like,
It was definitely something that took me by surprise because I didn't expect the MonsterVerse to ever get on that kind of level of sci-fi,
exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought that as
especially
well.
from where 2014 was.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no, no. You're absolutely correct. It's just, have you seen Inception?
Yes.
Okay, it
Uh,
reminded me of that a little bit. I don't know if it was Inception exactly. Remember whenever the city, like, it's like this weird thing. You're in the dream state, right? And the
yeah.
buildings like come on top of each other, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. The Hollow
The
Earth.
only thing about the Hollow Earth was really interesting because I remember when like gravity shifted and all these different things, and honestly, I was getting disoriented by it.
Exactly,
I
because
can only imagine only being in that situation how disorienting that would be.
that's very true. I just feel like if you're a Titan in there, I feel like you're low key kind of cramped depending on where you are, because the distance from as a Titan, not as a human, because as a human you're very small, so that wouldn't be very. I wouldn't correlate. But as a Titan, I feel like you jump if you got hops like Kong does. If you jump high enough,
Mhm.
the gravity's gonna switch and you're gonna go up. I guess it just depends on where
Yeah.
you're.
Well, and that was already shown in the movie when he went up to the top of the cliff and jumped up, and like he understood because like the rocks floating at the neutral point.
Exactly. Do you think that correlates everywhere or just in certain places?
I feel like it's around the whole thing because obviously, like seeing trees grow from the top there. The My only big question is where the hell is the light source coming from?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I couldn't figure that out. I don't really know. That's like
It's
that's a
like how is there like sunshine?
maybe it's coming through the holes that connect to Hollow Earth from the surface. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? What and about the holes that lead to Hollow Earth, I feel like there is a possibility that there could be Titans hiding in those holes leading to Hollow Earth.
Yeah, 100%.
Like
There
Megalon.
there could be so many Titans. Like I remember when everyone heard about 17 and counting in
Mm-hmm.
King of the Monsters, but like I feel like that number pales in comparison to the actuality of it.
Right, exactly. But I feel like it has to be possible. Like it just makes sense that there would be something in there. And especially with Hollow Earth. Hollow Earth seems so big. There has to be another Titan in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, remember that one scene where he gets his axe and pulls it out of the Godzilla skull? Did you see how big that Godzilla skull was?
Yeah, that Godzilla skull was huge. That was big.
Right?
Yeah, and here's something that here's my theory. Here's my theory on now that you mentioned that with the Godzilla skull and the axe and whatnot. So, pardon me if I go on for quite some time. So there was a video I saw on Dangerville, right? And it explained that back in the day, Godzilla's species ruled over the Earth. They ruled over Dominion. And you remember how in King of the Monsters we see that underwater temple, so to speak. Remember
Yes.
that? Okay, so that was actually flooded by the Godzilla clan or species to keep the Kong clan from attacking them on the surface because Kong's I guess their species lived in Hollow Earth. That was where they originated.
Mhm.
And they didn't want to stay there. They wanted to expand where they were. Now, Godzilla's clans were like the dictators of all of Dominion, fighting the Mutos left and right and trying to stay alive from being killed by the Mutos. Now, since they had to fight Godzilla's and the Kongs, like both the ancient war kind of thing, Kong's clan tried to go to the surface world to take it over and try to defeat the I guess dictators. But the Godzilla clan thought to themselves, "Hey, if I flood these places that has their like the main pathway that Kongs go through to get to the surface world, if we flood that, they can't do anything and they have to go to Skull Island." Remember how they said Skull Island is basically Hollow Earth up like on the surface, so to speak? So
Mhm.
that's where the Kongs had to like retreat to. That's their own island. They used to inhabit Hollow Earth, but the Godzillas using what they had to their advantage, flooding the entire place, the main entryway. They then swam through there, through into Hollow Earth, and pushed the Kongs all the way back to Skull Island. So that's the theory that
Right.
That's the theory people have. And the axe, what's said is that the axe is made of obviously Godzilla's or a certain Godzilla scale and a Muto bone that a Kong found and wrapped it on together, making said axe.
Yeah.
So that's just the theory.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with the Muto, because the Mutos have shown to have a very interesting relationship with the Godzilla species, as they're designed to be a predator of the Godzilla species.
Exactly. So, like, I mean, it's not the theory's not far fetched, but until we know exactly what happened all millions and millions of years ago, that's what I'm gonna go with because it seems correct. You know?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine a film that was set millions and millions of years ago that was just Titans?
I wouldn't be mad. I mean, you go away with the human interaction. You just go with the Titans. I'm okay with it. I mean, that's just awesome.
And then like the Kongs having a normal sense of communication through sign language.
Exactly. Yeah, that would it'd be interesting and like have so many different Mutos around. Maybe Ghidorah would join the fight. I don't know. Maybe that's like later on. But you know, who knows? Who knows?
Well, the Godzilla that we see as being the last Godzilla, I don't know how he compares to the other Gojira species. From what we know, compared to Dagon, he is bigger than Dagon.
Right.
And, well, obviously stronger as of their fight with Muta Prime. But I've always been curious on how he scales compared to the rest of the species.
I mean, that's very interesting because if they can't continue or like find a storyline that can continue off of Godzilla vs. Kong, why not go back in time? Create a movie that involves what happened in the ancient war, because they brought it up so many times in Godzilla vs. Kong. You might as well make a movie that explains what happened all the way back then.
There's also so many gray areas for Godzilla, because he has a confirmed age, which is 252 million years old.
That's pretty old.
But we don't know if that's old for him. We don't know
That's
if
true.
he's in the middle of his life. We don't know if he's younger, if he's older. We have no idea.
That is, imagine him being young. He's only like a teenager. It's like, bruh. Bruh.
Yeah, it turns out that big Godzilla is an actual, like, fully grown one.
Oh, bruh. Oh my god.
Well, on Dangerville, they covered that big skull that Kong pulled his axe out of, and he said it would be roughly the same size as Godzilla Earth.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah, in comparison to the legendary Godzilla that we see.
Oh my god. So Godzilla's definitely got some room to grow.
Yeah.
Oh man. That would be insane, man. Imagine though.
Yeah.
Imagine a Godzilla Earth-sized legendary Godzilla against like a Destroya version of that would be so awesome.
Oh, that would be so cool.
That would
Do you know
be
what
so
actually
cool.
something I found out? Like you've heard vaguely about Monster Strike Godzilla, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you know he's taller than Godzilla Earth?
Are you kidding?
I'm serious.
How tall is he?
You can look it up. He's somewhere over 333 meters tall.
Oh my god. No wonder he's multiversal plus.
Yeah, no, he's somewhere over 333 because he scales over the Tokyo Tower.
Oh my god, man. That's insane. I feel like the Monster Strike Godzillas are just overpowered beyond belief.
It's something you shouldn't bring into debates, to be honest.
You really shouldn't.
Because it's broken.
It's very broken. Very.
Monster Strike Godzilla beating entities that can rip holes in time space, destroy entire space time continuums. It's broken.
It's just not fair. It's really not.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of overpowered Godzilla, I actually got a hold of a couple Marvel Godzilla comics from my dad, and I thought that was cool as hell.
Was that the against the Avengers ones, or was it?
No. One's against the Red Ronin.
Oh, Red Ronin. Okay.
Ronin or whatever it is.
Okay.
And the other one is the Battle of the Behemoth.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And the Battle of the Behemoth one is in almost mint conditions, which I thought was amazing.
You could probably sell that on eBay for like a lot.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. Okay, so honestly, let's get back. So let's talk. We're still in Hollow Earth. Let's talk his temple and what's happening outside of it. So the blue floating rocks, that That much I'm pretty sure we know is the energy source. Now, what the energy source is, we don't know. Could it be used for more movies in the future? Definitely. Um,
Mm.
do we know its full capabilities? Absolutely not. But the temple, based off the temple and the structures made. I'm hold on. I'm going through the movie try to find where this is. I'll probably remember it. So in the temple, do you think like how um excuse me, I'm trying to think of the question that I want to ask. um uh do you think humans helped contribute to building that Kong sanctuary or temple with the Kong? Do you think they coexisted?
I have no idea. I never gave it a thought. I personally believed it was just a Kong, like a society or something like that.
Right. Oh, that could have been like a big
But
battleground. Do you think they could have been a battleground if you found a Godzilla skull there?
yeah, no.
I mean, that makes.
Sorry, you cut out there. It was kind of hard to hear you.
Oh, okay. Do you think that was like a battleground that Kongs and Godzillas fought in?
Oh, well, I think so considering all all the skeleton remains there, and I don't know, I feel like it's been untouched for a while since the battle.
That's true. That seems about right. I was about to say because it's like it doesn't look like very much has been, you know,
Because
taken
my
out.
idea is that the fight took place down there, and then the Godzilla species ended up pushing the Kong species up to, like, the Godzilla species ultimately won and pushed the Kong species up to Skull Island.
Right.
And I think Godzilla species, I think they ended up dying over a hierarchical, like a hierarchy. So they ended up kind of just dying to their own
A cool.
pecking order.
Right. That sounds right. Or the Mutos took them out.
Yeah, something like that. And like obviously there was a couple left, and the Muto Prime was off on a manhunt with them, and
Right.
obviously the like my opinion is Dagon is the second last,
I mean, I'm looking at.
as it was found up on the surface.
Oh yeah, the one that we found in the mine. And was it Pensacola? No,
In
was it?
2014. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Dagon.
Yeah, that was I confirmed that earlier, like about a few months ago. It's like, yeah, that's Dagon. That's where he laid to rest. He was buried 6 feet under by Muto Prime. Um, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the scene that Kong takes the axe out of one of the Godzilla species skulls, and you can see so many. There's like one, two, three, four, five. There's like five skeleton remains of Godzilla. So this had to have been some sort of battleground or something. It had to be because if you remember whenever he walks into the temple and you see the entirety of the temple as itself, you see that there are different
Mhm.
areas, like echoes. So like there's different pathways that you can go, each leading out onto the surface world. I'm assuming that each one of them, either Kongs went up into a different part of Hollow Earth or to the surface, and or Godzilla's species came down from there and fought in said area. Now, I'm not saying this isn't the exact area that they fought. There could have been different areas around Hollow Earth, like a giant, huge battle, like Avengers Endgame kind of style, that
Right.
happened throughout Hollow Earth. So I feel like this is one of many different centrifuges where giant battles took place during the overall war.
I think that was just one of the battles. And I I don't know. When I first saw it, I thought of it as an end game, but I thought, man, that's probably a much bigger picture than
Yeah, that would help if they
that.
went
So
back in
my
time.
what was that? Sorry.
It would help if they went back in time and like made a movie, so to speak, to like explain it all.
Or even a book,
Oh yeah, yeah, that too.
even if they explained it through a book.
I feel like a book would be better.
Um, yeah, I feel like it would be like overall a smarter decision for them.
All right, you were saying?
Because
Sorry.
that's what they did with and that's what they did with the Shinomura battle.
Mm,
Because the Shinomura battle was like in the Permian period. When they that's when it was taken place, and it was in a book. I feel like it would be a very risky thing to do to make a one of these MonsterVerse movies without humans at all.
right.
I do feel like that would be quite risky to do it.
But
I mean, who knows? It might work, but it is risky.
it's very risky. But I mean, you gotta. I'm trying to think. I feel like for fans, it probably wouldn't make sense. They just want to see big monster on screen fight other big monster. That's all that matters, really. Like that's what I think
Mhm.
fans like. They like, who cares about humans?
I think, and this was very apparent with Godzilla versus Kong, is that they realized that they couldn't just rely on fans for these movies because the trailers for Godzilla versus Kong was not at all directed for just fans.
Mm, right.
Like it was a straight everybody movie, and and it did great at that. Did you see the amount of Godzilla versus Kong memes that came from it? Like,
Oh yeah.
I think it was trending as
It was.
more than it's ever been.
Yeah. No. There was a lot of them, and I mean a lot. I saw them all on Twitter
And
almost all the time.
because I really noticed the difference between me getting hyped up for King of the Monsters back in early 2019,
Hmm.
and the difference. Like I went and watched that with two friends in the theaters, but I never heard anyone else talking about it. But Godzilla versus Kong, like
Everyone.
I know so many people talking about it, like in person.
Exactly. Like it didn't get as much hype as. Oh no, it got more hype than the other ones. I almost worded that wrong. My bad.
Mhm. I thought 2014 got a decent amount of hype
Oh yeah. It
through
was.
people.
It was. I remember when I first went to it. Well, I don't think it was opening day. It was like, I don't know, a week afterwards, and the entire theater was booked, and I had to stand in the back. There were people literally standing without seats that just watched the entire thing. I'm like, huh, interesting. I mean, it was that
I
good.
Yeah, the 2014 was I also thought the suspense through their trailers and whatnot was done
Hmm.
so good with 2014.
Very much so. Okay, so
Um,
let's. We did it again. Okay, you know
yeah,
what? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
I
But
think it's just our similar mindsets.
yeah, very much so. All right, let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's talk about the wavelength of, or the mind thing, control, whatever you want to call it, between Kevin and Mecha Godzilla. Now, if you remember, whenever they got the power source from Hollow Earth,
Mhm.
how it correlated from scanning it to actually putting it and like making it an actual power source for Mecha Godzilla, I have no idea. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's some weird thing. But
Me
how
neither.
did you
It's
how'd you go about thinking about that? Like, what did you think about that part?
like the whole correlation
Yeah,
of Kevin taking over, or kind of talk about the power
yeah,
source a bit more.
both.
Okay, so the power source, I did not understand at all how you can just download a power source to another area.
Exactly.
That shit
Like,
don't work Bluetooth.
yeah,
Like that shit don't work on
Bluetooth,
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth and energy. All of a sudden, okay, cool.
What are we gonna do now? Wireless garden hoses?
Yo, yes. It's not far fetched. That's not far fetched. You can do that.
um,
Definitely.
but in all reality, like I do believe like, and I'm pushing that to the side because whatever, it's a futuristic movie at this point.
We don't understand
Um,
it.
so I believe that energy isn't just radiation, it's like some sort of weird life force that the Titans have, and it gave the consciousness of Ghidorah. It breathed the new life that was somewhat there. Like the brainwaves were still there. There was still a voice, but there was no meaning behind that voice,
Right. It
if that
makes.
makes sense. But that energy breathed life into it and gave the new body, which was Mechagodzilla, the new soul with energy, and the new thought, which was Ghidorah.
Huh.
And then obviously it ended up mixing all together, and that's how it worked out.
Do you think? And I'm just spouting things out. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if anyone will know the truth. Do you think that that power source is what gave Godzilla and his clan their powers?
I think so. Well, to a certain degree. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they grab it. I think they're kind of linked to it as they're also born and biologically have this power source in them and are able to manipulate it.
Oh,
Kind of like
like,
how like Thor's able to manipulate lightning and whatnot, right?
oh yeah. So like it just boosts it, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I feel like with the extent of this power, apparently, like from what it showed in the movie, how it powered up Mechagodzilla, making Ghidorah take over Mechagodzilla, it just goes to show the extent that that power has on a certain organism. Like, and if used for like the wrong ideas, like with Mechagodzilla, it'll have a mind of its own. So I feel like that could definitely be used later on in a different movie, and they could elaborate more on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much
No,
so, for
for
sure.
sure. Um,
Let's talk about Sarazawa. Do you think he's still alive?
I think he's dead. I mean, he got the straight electric chair treatment.
He got enough volts to go through him that could kill more than 20 people. Yeah, there's no way he's alive. That's like the worst amount of treatment that you could get from that.
No way. That's so funny. I was wondering why my notification wasn't going off to remind me about the live stream, but it looks like I said it like an hour,
Beforehand? 2 hours beforehand?
2 hours late. So
2 hours late. Oh my
yeah,
god.
no. I said it and it just went off. I'm like, that's funny.
That's hilarious. But do you think?
Oh, well, I didn't miss it.
Yeah, hey, at least you're here, so that's good.
Yeah.
Do you think, and this is just a theory, everything we're talking about is somewhat a theory. Do you think that Kevin's wavelength could send out a signal to the outreaches of space to call other Titans to Earth, like Gigan or other certain? Do you think that is a possibility?
Ooh, I've never thought about that, but you know how cool that sounds.
It sounds reasonable. It does. Like, he's the mastermind.
And it sounds reasonable, and you know how cool that would be?
Like,
Get Gigan from the
yeah,
same planet or something.
Or like it's like what we do with NASA. We send out different messages to different planets, right? And he sends it out to different planets out there that because if you remember, the Ghidorah species went across space to terraform different planets. So if that's the case, he could send out different messages to different areas. Because Gigan, remember, he was the savior of his planet. So maybe he killed that Ghidorah that was there, and that Gigan's able to pick up that certain wavelength. Because, remember, Ghidorah in King of the Monsters was able to call all of the, or almost all of the Titans to one place to answer the Alpha call.
Right.
So it's possible.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of that. Because honestly, for a future movie, the only thing I've been thinking of is Destoroyah.
Yeah.
And, I'll go over that in a bit here. I would like the idea of Gigan coming through, and the way you explain that, that's perfect. That is so perfect. That gives so much rhyme and reason behind it, and I never thought about it. And now that I have, that's so cool.
It is very interesting. Like, Kevin's the mastermind behind all the different space aliens. I wouldn't say maybe Space Godzilla, maybe, I don't know. But it makes sense. Like, he's the mastermind behind everything. Even if the humans don't use him or not. It's just able to. It's just like he's alive while he's dead, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, it
and that's what I think is great, because it that kind of does obviously set more situations up, that Kevin's skull is still intact. It was not destroyed at the end of the movie.
right. And his brain's still there. Although it's being used as a supercomputer. It's possible it could still send out wavelengths without humans' help.
Exactly. It's still there, and it hasn't been dealt with, nothing. Which I thought was kind of interesting, how Godzilla kind of just left without looking for
Exactly.
the skull. I mean,
maybe
I don't know. I guess,
who knows?
maybe he was getting a Mecha Godzilla, and then once that was gone, he didn't nothing anymore. So
right.
he's just out of there.
I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, in the long run, it was Mechagodzilla causing the thing, but I mean, if we're looking past that, it technically was Kevin doing all of it. But since Mechagodzilla was destroyed and he wasn't hearing it anymore, he's kind of just left it as is. So
Kevin was a beast.
He really was.
Absolute beast.
Absolute god status.
Yeah, no. So What's your opinion of people calling the fight a tie?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm about to get down and dirty with this. All right. So
All right.
first fight, yes, Godzilla won that one. Even Kong fans admit that. Second fight, just because someone says you win doesn't necessarily mean you win.
Yeah, he got up.
Exactly.
Literally and basically. Okay. Okay, continue. Sorry, I'll go on.
It's just a the axe is supposed to cut things, and it's shown that it's able to. It's not supposed to bounce off the dude's head. Okay.
I thought that was kind of funny how it razored straight through his thigh, but didn't even leave a scratch on the top of his head.
So it's so weird. It's so weird. How does
the bonk treatment, you know?
Exactly, yeah. And just like Kong flew after doing that.
Yeah.
It did more damage to him than it did Godzilla. And I find that to be weird. It's like, even I wanted it to work. It's like, wait, what? No. You can't just hype that up for it to bounce off his head. What? No. But it did.
And yeah, he did. He obviously got a mild headache from that. Like you see him go backwards and just, wakes up like he just got up from a hangover and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just shaking off the night before, but he got up literally 5 minutes later. I don't understand why Kong didn't grab the axe and
finish him off there
down
or something. Yeah, no, I don't understand that either. Maybe, and I don't know. People are saying that it was I wouldn't say a submitting thing, but like a mercy thing. But in what I saw was Kong was thinking to himself, if I try to attack here, I don't know if he'll attack back. So I better get to high ground or else I will regret it. And that's what he did.
I think he also understands without the powered up axe, he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, that's the same thing with Mechagodzilla, which we'll get into later once we start talking about that scene. But yeah, so about but yeah, no, and personally I believe it was technically 3-1. 3-1. And we're including the Mechagodzilla fights. Just because someone says you win does not necessarily mean you win.
Exactly.
So even if that, well, let's just give that to him. Let's just say, for instance, we give that to him. If it's fights strictly between Godzilla and Kong, Godzilla won. That's 2-1. Right? Am I right in my assumption?
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. Here, I'm gonna send something to the Discord real quick.
Okay. All
right. It's a little shot from the movie. It's nothing big. It's just a minute-long clip.
Okay.
Where is it?
I personally feel like that the fight scenes when he went absolute crocodile mode in the third fight was cool. It was absolutely amazing. He was faster than any times we've seen him before.
Yeah, it says it's too long to do. Anyway, I'll just talk about it. Or okay. You can watch it. It's the very last scene. And I think I already talked about it, but you already saw it. At the end, they confront each other after the Mechagodzilla fight.
Right.
Godzilla makes a gesture to put down the axe. And Kong does it, and he roars triumphantly and leaves.
Exactly, yeah, I remember that. I'm trying to find it. Hold on, I'm trying to see it right now.
And as subtle as that nod was, it was there. Where he looks at the axe, looks at the ground, and looks back up at Kong.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, where is it? I'm trying to find it right now. I'm not showing it on stream, but, it's there. It's almost. Hold on.
It exists.
It very much exists. Hold on.
And not to mention that last fight between the last 1v1 there. After the whole looks like Kong round 2.
Yeah.
After he went interior crocodile
alligator. Chevrolet movie theater.
Exactly. After he went into that degree of anger,
right?
Kong had no chance. Literally nothing. He just tossed Kong literally 5 blocks down the city
and broke his arm in the process.
Yeah, and honestly, I was thinking about that. That's a really good strength feat.
That is. And people were saying that Kong, because monkeys are able to lift more than their weight, right? But that wasn't shown in this movie.
Kong isn't a gorilla. Kong isn't a gorilla.
So that's the thing. But people think I don't understand it. People said hey, he can lift more than what he lets on. But it's I didn't see any of that in this movie. all I saw was Godzilla
Not at all.
grabbing Kong's arm. I remember it was in the third fight. He grabs Kong's arm from whenever Kong's on Godzilla's back and literally flings him over his shoulder onto the ground and
And
like
then grabs
rolls.
him again and throws him across the city.
Exactly, and then breaks Kong's arm. And then that one scene where he shoots the beam and then he laughs. You can literally hear it. He goes he
He's
legitimate
toying around.
he was literally toying with him.
Yeah, until Kong hit him with the axe, and then he was pissed.
Exactly. Hold on. I'm gonna find the scene. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Oh my god. I'm gonna play the scene. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm gonna play it. You can actually like. You can literally hear him laugh. You can literally hear him laugh the entire time. I'm sorry. He smiles and laughs at it. He's like, hey, that was kind of fun. I want to do it again. But yeah, no, that was
he's
like
having fun with this.
it was so and the weird thing about this is I know the CGI was fluid, but Godzilla was not himself in this movie. He was full demon mode this entire time.
Yeah, no, I think that signal has been like messing with him. Honestly,
Very much
that's
so.
my explanation on it anyway.
I believe that is the case as well. I just feel like once the signal was gone, that's when he was finally able to like let go. Because I believe
I feel like he acted like normal after the Mechagodzilla fight.
yeah, very much so.
Like I know it wasn't very long.
Like after King of the
But he
Monsters
acted normal after.
or 2014. You remember whenever he walks in, he's like acting all normal. That was basically how he acted in this one towards the end of the movie. Whenever after like 2014, the same thing, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. When he just walked back into the ocean.
Right, very much so. What was it? What was I talking about? I forgot. Yeah. So hold on. I think I remember. So like whenever he was fighting, like I don't know what it was, but for some odd reason, he was much more agile than Kong was in a sense.
I think a big part of that was him getting down on all fours so he could have that agility.
Oh yeah,
Have an extra pair of limbs on the ground. I feel like that gave him a little extra agility that he's never really needed to use before.
right. Very much so. Yeah. I feel like he's learned a few things over the past few years from fighting Ghidorah. Is like, hey, I better start doing this in order to get the better advantage or something.
Yeah,
Maybe.
he's watching some like fights on National
He's
Geographic.
watching
He's like, hey, I'm gonna try that.
Bruce Lee. Oh, I should start doing that. Huh.
Watching anime fights.
I gotta be like Goku. Come on now. I gotta just power up. Same with the
That's what he's
beam
been
struggle.
doing through the MonsterVerse though, like subtly, like he's been getting a lot stronger.
Yeah, that's basically how Godzilla works, though. I mean, and I know it's like different in a certain degree because like each Godzilla from different
Yeah.
series does it their
'Cause I
own
guess
way.
like Heisei's the same way too. Like Heisei got a lot stronger throughout.
Very much so, and I mean like overpowered kind of strong.
Yeah, no,
So-
like if you compare him in the Return of Godzilla compared to Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, it is astronomically different.
Oh, very much so. Very much so with the red spiral ray and the burning mode. That's just overpowered beyond belief.
Showa, he stayed around. I mean, obviously, like taking away the first three movies, but like
Mhm.
throughout most of the Showa era, he was pretty consistent with his strength.
Very much so, but it was very weird. It wasn't like as consistent because like the speed and everything. It was I don't know. Maybe it's because it was like the people in the suits and everything. But like
Yeah,
it was low key kind of not consistent, but at the same time it was, and I find that to be interesting because like I feel like the Showa version was the funniest one out of all of them.
yeah, and then there's the Millennium series, which has no consistency considering most of the films are not linked to each other.
Right? They had to redesign him 4 times, right, in the Millennium series.
Yeah, like GMK is its own thing. 2000 and versus Mega Gyrus are its own thing.
Mhm.
SOS and the other one.
By
They're
far,
its
best
own
design.
thing.
Personally, my best design was the 2000s one.
Oh really? I don't know. I have a certain taste.
Mhm.
There's just something about the triangle shaped head
Oh, the triangle-shaped head?
fall in love with.
Oh, you mean from Legendary?
I've always preferred blocky heads.
Huh.
So I really like GMK. GMK is my favorite suit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Heisei.
Oh yeah, Heisei was
Heisei's
interesting
my
too.
second favorite suit.
I would say
I did
Heisei's
like
mine.
Shin a lot. I did like Shin a lot too. I
Mhm.
did like Shin's design. I like the whole concept of Shin Godzilla movie. Oh my god, it was a beautiful movie.
Oh, it was. It was.
It was a great way to capture the character that Godzilla was originally, and they did it flawlessly there.
They
I
really
mean, my gripe with Shin Godzilla is the human scenes were unbearably boring.
very much so. I mean, like trying to explain the hypothesis of, oh, if this happens and this happens, then this will happen. It's like, we get it. Come on, let me see Godzilla. It looks cool.
One thing that I often go about Shin Godzilla is the score, like the soundtrack.
Mhm.
The soundtrack when Godzilla's on screen is flawless.
Uh-huh.
Like it could not be better. But with the human scenes, it was really misleading.
Very misleading, because you know when you hear that soundtrack, you're gonna get your ass beat. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. So like,
Yeah, exactly.
every time. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you're going against. If you hear that theme song, you're getting beat.
Oh man, when Bear McCreary, that's one thing that King of the Monsters did best. It has the best soundtrack of any MonsterVerse movie.
Mhm.
I don't care what anyone says.
Oh
King of
man.
the Monsters had the best soundtrack.
I mean, the soundtrack
the
was pretty
original.
good. Soundtrack was pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the original Mothra theme and the original Godzilla theme being done by Bear McCreary, though. Oh my god, that was amazing.
All right, let's talk about the final fight. Godzilla and Kong versus Mechagodzilla. So after Godzilla was, gave mercy to Kong saying, "Hey, stay down. Don't get back up." And then Mechagodzilla showed up. What did you think about Mechagodzilla seeing him in full daylight? Actually, no, hold on, let me go on. I'm going on a tangent here. How is it that it goes from nighttime to daytime in the span of 5 minutes? How does that even make sense?
I have no idea. That was a very
confused.
weird thing to me as well. But I'm glad they did, because I was really happy to see that final fight in daylight. And have you noticed that it was like sunset by the end of the
Yeah, I was like, what? What? That fight took an entire 12 hours or 24 hours? What? Like, was it going in slow motion? Like, was it?
Oh, it was so funny. I just noticed, why is there a sunset now?
It's like, I was so confused. That was the main thing that threw me off. It's like, wait a minute, what? But other than that, if we look past that,
seeing it in daylight, oh my gosh, that
was my alarm. My bad.
okay.
You were saying seeing in daylight?
Happy to see so many daylight fights, and even during the the Hong Kong scene.
Yeah, the nighttime.
Godzilla versus Kong. It was still illuminated so well.
Yeah,
like, you could perfectly see anything. Like there was no storm or anything to get in the way. It was awesome, and like all the neon lights were lighting things up. So
yeah, it was very interesting. I liked how they messed with the lighting and the CGI because it worked perfectly. It like blended together very well.
Oh, absolutely. And then the Mechagodzilla fight.
Oh man,
a lot of people are calling Kong a winner because he saved Godzilla, which is true, but it
can go both ways.
Each other in that scene.
It can go both ways. But yeah, no, I found that to be. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead. I have nothing really else to say.
I found it very interesting that even though they were fighting it like 3 minutes ago, they somehow have amazing teamwork. That's the weird thing. They were literally at each other's throats not 5 minutes ago, and now whenever they're working together, they can do it perfectly without flaws. I find that to be insane. It's like, huh? Y'all been doing this before? Have y'all fought before and that we just didn't know about it? Or like, how is this working?
Do you like screw the other's wife or something? That was actually what happened here. Like, no. I thought their team up was done very well, actually. Oh,
yeah.
One thing that I thought is also really funny is that they're also going on about Kong being the one to get that final hit off of Mechagodzilla, even though how much of that damage done by Mechagodzilla was not targeted at Kong. Kong did not beat Mechagodzilla fair and square because he wasn't taking barely any damage from
Exactly.
Mechagodzilla.
Godzilla was the one taking all the hits, and even the crazy. What was that?
Even when Kong was attacked, like got a hit off of Mechagodzilla would just kind of shove him to the side and go back to like going on Godzilla again. Just keep
right
beating the shit out of Godzilla after Kong was the last one to give him a hit. He didn't care about Kong.
Exactly. That because he's genetically engineered to take out Godzilla. He did not care about Kong. That was not what he was. And but maybe because he was taken, Ghidorah took over his mind. Maybe that changed how he saw things, so to speak. So like maybe he
Possibly.
that's still hazy. We don't know that for sure. But the fact you can't deny the fact that Godzilla took so many hits from Mechagodzilla and still got up and kept fighting. It didn't even look like he took any damage.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that durability is insane.
He was not on the verge of death at any point in this movie.
Absolutely
there was
not.
kind of points where I feel like there could have been a final hit, like a good final hit to take off Godzilla, but Godzilla was still ready to get back up and fight at every point. He was not down for the count.
Exactly. But there's one thing. If there was one thing I could have changed about the final fight, was like, okay, so I know that the axe was powered up by Godzilla, right? But there should have been one part where Kong and Godzilla stand side by side. They look at each other. They look back at Mechagodzilla. It's like they had like this conversation, and the second that they looked at each other, and then Kong ran, like he would run towards Mechagodzilla while Godzilla shot the beam at the axe, while Kong would jump from building to building, and then that's when he would like do like he'd like swing the axe, cut off an arm, and then Godzilla would come in. It's like the Civil War, Captain America Civil War. Whenever they like beat up on Tony, it's like a teamwork kind of thing. It's like from like a 360 shot of Godzilla and Kong beating up on him or something.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of different like parts where these titans could have like had some sort of interaction with each other in all of these movies. Like in King of the Monsters, there's this like when Rodan was attacking Mothra. I was really hoping for like it wasn't gonna be Mothra gonna get, like, obviously I feel like Mothra should have gotten her hits off, but I kind of was hoping for an atomic breath to just blow Rodan off of Mothra.
Right, yeah, no, that would have
kind of like
made
show
sense.
a relationship.
Yeah, because she's capable of doing that, but they
Just
nerfed
show
the
a
crap out of her. They nerfed her.
Oh yeah, Mothra is an interesting monster because I feel like in the MonsterVerse she's not designed to fight, but she's an immortal being for the fact that her eggs carry the same memories that she had in her past life, right?
Exactly, yeah, no, that's right. But same thing with Rodan. Can't Rodan shoot a beam out of his mouth as well? So, like, sort of, so to speak, he has powers.
Has he ever done that?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if he did it in other films, but I know he has powers. That's the thing.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen a lot of Rodan films, so I couldn't speak for that.
He does have powers, but he doesn't use those. They nerfed the crap out of all the different kaijus in this movie.
Yeah, no, I mean the MonsterVerse Titans don't compare, especially to the Heisei era. Like the Heisei era was on a different level. Like obviously, Space Godzilla survived being wedged between a white and black hole while taking multiple supernovas.
Like that's an impressive feat. That is impressive.
Yeah, and then obviously Destoroyah taking all these red spiral rays after you know how strong Space Godzilla is now, and Space Godzilla died to a couple red spiral rays.
Right. I think it was blue spiral rays.
Was
might have been. I think it might have been blue spiral.
I don't quite remember. I'd have to rewatch right now.
Okay.
And then that's probably what I'm going to do tonight. And then obviously how strong, like the Heisei era is broken.
Yeah, no, it's super broken. I mean, like, but that's what made it interesting. It's like, hey, we got a broken character.
The Heisei era was my favorite Toho era.
I like the character design for both Destoroyah and Godzilla. That was my favorite movie out of all of them.
Okay, how I was going about my perfect Godzilla movies. My three I put are the original 1954 Godzilla vs. Destoroyah and 2014.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, those are the ones that I consider perfect. I mean, Shin is so close, but the thing that holds Shin back was the human scenes being so boring.
Yeah, I can see that. They could have done better with that. I feel like they should make another Shen movie, but make it, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I would go about. I mean, obviously less human moments, but I don't know how else you
They
would
should
go
use
about.
that fan-made Godzilla that I posted on TikTok
Oh
today.
yeah, for sure. That
It
would
was
get
sick.
millions upon millions of views. That would look cool. I saw that. It's like three different Godzillas mixed into one.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
GMK, Shin, and Legendary.
It's so cool. Like that. It's and you know that thing's gonna be overpowered. You know that
Oh,
thing's gonna be
absolutely.
very much
Um,
so.
so
See, what did we
we
miss?
both are on the same. We're both on the same page. Godzilla was the winner of this movie.
Yeah, Godzilla was the winner of this movie. Between Godzilla and Kong, strictly Godzilla won. That is final.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very much
In
so.
the end, I think Kong won in terms of getting respect.
Exactly. No, no, no. Getting respect from
As
the King of the Monsters, that says a lot.
Yeah, exactly. He got respect from the King of the Monsters. He was the first monster that Godzilla fought without killing or making bow down.
Godzilla's gonna regret that later. He's like, man, I really should have killed him while I had the chance. He's like, damn.
I think one of my favorites too is like obviously this might piss a couple people off, but that scene afterwards, after the fight of Mechagodzilla, I sense so much fear in Kong
Oh no, no, that's
after
true.
Godzilla roared.
Because if you remember correctly, he as he was sitting down, he was frantically reaching for his axe.
Yeah.
And if he hadn't have got he got up so fast, he's like, "Hey, I want no beef, man. This isn't. We just helped each
And
other
he
out."
didn't have an angry look in his eyes. He had like a please no
Yeah,
look
he's
in
like,
his
"Don't
eyes.
don't do this right now. I can't do this." But
Yeah, exactly.
you know, Godzilla's like, "Hey, appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna go now."
Kong just sitting there.
Don't bring that up again. I'm gonna start laughing, dude. He's just no neck looking. What? He just stand. Huh? What are we talking about? He's just so confused.
So good.
So confused over what's happening. Oh, he's just leaving. I cool then. But yeah, no.
All right, what am I about to do now?
What?
He
Yeah,
probably just crawled right back down the Hong Kong hole.
pretty much. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna go. And I'm pretty sure I don't know where Godzilla would have gone. He probably went to go find a new home or something. But
He probably went to feed somewhere.
probably, I think that would make the most sense. Because I mean, if there's no
Yeah.
threats or anything, then I know he missed the Ghidorah's skull or Kevin's skull, but he doesn't see it as a threat anymore because the main threat was already taken care of, supposedly. So I mean, yeah, it makes sense, and I like how it ended. And we're getting towards the end of this. If we have any questions, we'll do questions afterwards. If we have any others, but towards the end of it, do you like the idea that now, from what it looks like, Godzilla is the protector of outer world while Kong is the protector of the Hollow Earth?
I'm absolutely on board with that. I like the idea of them being allies, and I like the idea of a endgame movie of like
Mm-hmm.
a little nod to Godzilla versus Kong, I don't know.
I feel like it's a good
I
idea.
Yeah,
But they'll have to elaborate more
yeah,
on Kong, so to speak. Because,
I definitely want to see these two characters like develop more.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Like
because they definitely will.
more of a connection with each other, you know?
Oh yeah, 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 very much like a, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the
Like kind of like how Anguirus was in the late Showa era to Godzilla.
Oh yeah, 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 exactly. That would make sense. That really would make sense because if they have to like help each other or patrol certain areas of say inner Earth or outer Earth, one could leave that area, help the other one if needed. So I mean, it's a
Exactly.
possibility. It's a possibility, and plus, like I said, they're gonna have to expand more on Kong because Hollow Earth, they've only scratched the surface of that, and there could
Oh,
be there's
absolutely.
another area probably underneath Hollow Earth that we've not explored yet. And there's got to be other Titans in there, so we got to make another Kong movie that expresses where they go from there.
There's a whole ecosystem down there. Like,
Exactly.
there's so much you can find.
Exactly. And like, I don't know if they're gonna make another Kong movie or another Godzilla movie next. I feel like it would make more sense to go with Kong because Hollow Earth, you've just introduced it. You might as well go and do another Kong movie because it just makes sense. Even though it was catered more to Kong in this movie, doing it for Kong would help out the fan base. It would make more sense.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if they were going to do a Godzilla movie, what they would do. That's the main thing.
I almost feel like they might do, I don't know. I don't see them doing a solo movie for Rodan or Mothra or anything like that, for the reason that I don't think they have the following to do that.
They might actually. I guess it just depends. I haven't heard anything, but I don't know. There was like a list of different movies that they plan on coming out with. Mothra for sure. She plays a big part. Remember Space Godzilla?
I guess I do see Mothra a lot. I love Mothra's character.
Yeah, no, Mothra
Like,
plays a
King of the Monsters,
huge part.
I actually thought Mothra was one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Oh yeah, no. Besides the fact that they nerfed her, but later on, if they make another movie on her, she will have to play a big part. Whether or not she goes and does like a Batra movie, fights Batra, or that'd be
so cool. I would love to see Batra again. I think Batra is such a
very underrated kaiju. I mean,
I actually recently rewatched Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth, and I I remember seeing the part where Godzilla and Batra fight on the seafloor, and it like shifts tectonic plates and stuff. It's
imagine being that powerful.
Yeah.
Or like with Space Godzilla. If they do in fact do another Mothra movie, she's gonna have to go into space, like in the movie there, okay? Because then Mothra, the reason Space Godzilla became Space Godzilla is because of a DNA strand that came off of Mothra into a black hole, created Space Godzilla. Now, granted, here's the thing. Legendary could go any direction they want, okay? They could have Kong fight Space Godzilla. They could have Godzilla fight another version of Ghidorah and somebody else.
I swear to God, if there ends up being the ending of Kong fighting Destoroyah, I will outrage.
I will outrage too, because it's like if they do in fact do a Destroyer movie, they're either gonna have to wait another 10 years before they do it to match how strong Destroyer is, or make him stronger, or they nerf the crap out of him and put him in this movie. But if they do that, they better do it correct, because if you downplay Destroyer, people are not gonna be happy about it, because they know how strong Destroyer is.
Here's my idea. I think Destoroyah should be introduced as a kind of like how Ghidorah was introduced in King of the Monsters, but to an extra degree. So not only is he terraforming the planet or just destroying everything, but he's also going on a manhunt kill of all the other Titans.
Oh yeah, and like he's
rather than
okay.
Rather than like Ghidorah, who's awakening all the Titans, Destoroyah is going around killing all of them.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah, I think that was my opinion. And then at the end, it's going to have to be a lot of different ones teaming up. Like, for example, like Mothra, Kong, and Godzilla teaming up to fight Destoroyah.
Oh, yeah, that would be very interesting to watch. That would be very interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean, like
there's obviously he gets the name Destroyer from being a
literal
just going
powerhouse
of killing all of these Titans and eliminating them.
Very much so. And I mean, there's like
Yo, are you able to play sounds in the Discord? I found one thing on YouTube that is so nice for like a legendary Destoroyah roar.
I might be able to. I don't know. You can
go ahead and keep talking.
Okay.
I'll find it.
Okay. So like, here's the thing. There's like a map of different monsters that exist in the MonsterVerse universe. Now, we haven't heard of some, like, for instance, Baphomet in Morocco. We don't know anything about him. Leviathan. That's the Loch Ness. We don't know anything about him. Sargon on Devil's Tower in Wyoming. We don't know anything about him. We could, in fact, introduce those in other movies. They have so much leg room that they could introduce all these characters. And like, you know, Mount Fiji. Wasn't Mount Fuji where Rodan settled down?
Maybe? I don't remember.
I want to say so, because there was already one there, Titanus Yamata no Orochi. So there was already a Titan there. Now, Rodan probably could have killed him, I don't know. But there's such a big opportunity Legendary has to expand this universe after this movie. I know they will. And I know that it's based around what the audience thinks, but regardless, I'm pretty sure they've got now they have their work cut out for them, but they have so much room to do what they need to introduce another movie or another monster or just continue what they have now. Like, they have so much leg room.
Exactly. They definitely do have a lot of leg room to do this. And honestly, they're still at an early stage where they can just do whatever they want at this point.
Exactly. It doesn't have to follow the what the other movies have. It could go in a whole different direction. Like,
I do think they should get on like planning ahead pretty soon here.
oh, very much
I
so.
don't know if they already have, but like obviously
They have to.
I don't think it's ever gonna be up with like obviously the MCU or anything like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I do think taking notes from the MCU is a great idea. It's just it's not gonna be up with the MCU for the reason that human characters are a lot more relatable to the average, or like just characters that can speak languages.
Exactly.
That's obviously a lot more relatable to the average viewer
Very much so. Yeah, no, I understand that. I get that.
than a bunch of monsters roaring at each other. As lovable as these monsters are,
Hmm.
the kaiju genre is very. It requires a taste.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like club soda.
Oh yeah, very
Um,
much so.
I've always loved it. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always loved creatures and animals. That always been my thing. And then obviously I watched my first Godzilla movie, and I'm like, okay, well that's my hero.
That's my hero now.
Yep. Metaphor for nuclear bombs. Yikes.
Oh man. Do you think? But like I said, do you think they don't have to follow? Do you think they have to follow what other movies have done, or can they go in a completely different direction and
I
introduce
think
characters?
they absolutely can go in their own direction. Hey, so I sent the Destoroyah
Okay, let me see
roar
if.
in
Oh,
the
okay. Oh, I got it.
Discord.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying. That sounds terrifying.
What do you think for that for the MonsterVerse?
That okay? If I have to be honest with you, that sounds like something that would have been introduced in the post-credit scene for Godzilla vs. Kong if there was one.
Right?
It had to be.
It's not. It's obviously nothing I've made.
Oh, that gave me
it was
chills,
some-
dude. That gave me chills. That sounded so
somebody
awesome.
posted it on YouTube, and I saw it in my recommendations.
Ah!
Alright, but
That sounds so cool, especially when it like fades out at the end. Like if anything, it would have done black screen. Here's my idea of how it would have gone in Godzilla vs. Kong. Black screen. Shows Destroyer's face, like the eyes or whatnot, and then it cuts out, and then you hear like the roar. And it's like, oh,
I think it would have been better if it was like during a really thick thunderstorm and like just his silhouette through a lightning shot.
oh my god, dude! Oh, that chills, man,
And then
chills.
hearing the roar, and then they could have like new gimmicks. Like apparently his roars have like psychotic effects on humans.
Oh, that would be so like Cthulhu, like Cthulhu.
Yeah, so like his roars have like the effect to make humans see figures and like
Oh,
go
it's
through psychosis and all
oh
these
my
different
god,
things.
that would be so awesome. That would make him like the absolute biggest killing machine. Like give him more powers than he needs.
Adam Wingard.
Hire me, Adam Wingard. I know what I'm doing. And but like no, like make him more powerful than he was. Like if you can't capitalize on the strength aspect, capitalize on what powers he could have. Maybe
I
not
think
as
they need to
strong,
do
but
way
like
more than just that. I think they need to capitalize a fear aspect.
oh,
I
the
think
fear
there needs to
aspect,
be-
yeah. Because if he's
yeah, there
Death
needs to be
Incarnate
something that will intimidate the viewers
and
in the
Godzilla.
theaters.
And Godzilla, that much too. Like if you see him, you know things are about to go down. Like it's not gonna go easy the way you want it to. But I need to save that. Can I want to? I'm keeping that. I need to save this. I'm saving this.
Alright, bet.
I'm saving that. That's so good. That sounds so awesome. It's like, you get so scared hearing that, but it's like so nice.
Yeah, no, that is an amazing idea for a legendary Destoroyah roar.
Some guy in the Discord chat said I would start having a nerdgasm all day.
Honestly, buddy, same.
Buddy, I'm not even lying. Same here, dude. If they actually come up with Destroya, I'm Team Destroya. I don't care what you say. Like,
You have no idea. Like, how much hype I've had for King of the Monsters, this movie, and 2014. You have no idea how I'd be if there was a Destoroyah film.
Oh man, dude.
Oh,
So, oh my god, it'd be so awesome, man. I want to see that happen. I really do. I really do.
yeah, me as well.
Okay, so we can go on to questions now. I think we covered everything in the movie. I want to say we have. So in terms of questions,
I'm
if
gonna pop a gum.
okay, actually, I need to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. Just
All right.
just give me a second, okay? Give me a second. All right, boys, we're back. Okay, it's Pog. All right, next. All right, so my question to
My
you.
PogChamp is here, boys.
PogChamp, nice, awesome. All right, so my question to you is, if let's just say Mechagodzilla was able to disorient both Godzilla and Kong, what do you think he would do next? Would you think he would go and wreak havoc across the world, or do you think he would have a better agenda, so to speak?
Depends. Define disorient.
As in, like, unconscious. I know he would obviously try to kill
Oh.
Godzilla, that much is certain, because that's like his main goal, but let's just say, for instance, he does kill
No, his
Godzilla.
main goal is to blow up and then act like he doesn't know nobody. What are you talking about? No. All right, stupid jokes aside. I don't know. I feel like he would just be on a manhunt to kill every single
Titan?
Titan. I feel like he'd be more than just what Ghidorah did on trying to get these the Titans to explain it. I think he wants every life form to fear him as
Kevin will always be feared, because Kevin's Kevin.
fair enough. Kevin, I gotta respect Kevin.
Kevin's got all the respect in the world. He's just trying to
We need
survive.
a Destoroyah Kevin 1v1.
Kevin wins! Kevin always wins! He can't be disoriented. He got no fear. Kevin's just awesome.
He's too strong.
He's too strong for the average
Boundless.
Titan. He's absolutely boundless. I don't care what you say.
Sources, trust me, bro.
Sources, trust me, bro. That's the one source I will trust, though. Even after death, he still causes havoc. He's just...
Oh, man. We made him stronger. We have the technology. Basically the plot of this movie.
Pretty much. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright, so do you have any questions? That was like the only other question I had to ask. We actually asked all the questions earlier in the stream.
I mean, fair enough. Honestly, I think that's it.
That's it?
Good to put it at a close?
Yep, we can put it at a close. If you're up for that. I mean,
All right. Well,
All right.
yeah, we should definitely do this again. This is fun.
Yeah, no, this is definitely fun. If they come up with another one, or we could talk about the old movies or something, so we like do something like that.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Big Boy Bowie, thank you for joining. I really appreciate you stopping and taking time out of your day to join the stream, our podcast.
I appreciate you inviting me here.
And to everyone watching, thank you for staying for almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. This was very, very fun. We will definitely be doing something like this again. And again, Bowie, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
All right, everybody. I will see you all later. Peace!